to the No Practice Podcast, where we cover the only sport in the world where there is no practice. With your mini rod driving host, Adam Kester, Tyler Slaw, and Chase Richardson. Strap in for some debates on the world of pulling, exclusive special guests, and a whole lot of nonsense BS. The No Practice Podcast starts now.
And we are back just like that. It's only been 2 weeks, but it feels like 2 months and 2 days at the same time. Lots happened since we were last on. Chase and I had a good time at the PPL banquet. Adam was too cool to join us with his presence. He had better things to do. How we doing, fellas?
What's up, guys?
Chase?
Hey, guys. And for all you people tuning in for the first time, you think this is teamwork involved here, but believe it or not, we do chat for 5 minutes before the show starts, and got revealed to me these two guys are working behind the scenes on some things. So instead of just giggling around and not talking about it, let's just talk about what you're have in store for me.
This show's loaded. Tell us about it.
Hang on. One at a time.
Oh, what was that? What did I just do?
Oh,
that's right. We've got the official counter there for how many times Chase interrupts, and I believe we just had our first one. Adam, what do you think? Gonna go to the
score up is the tally one up there.
There we go.
Nothing like a group that works together to grow a sport that they all love. So really appreciate you guys working with me on this. I do have bad connection sometimes, so that whenever it comes right in the middle mid-conversation, it's not me, it's technology. But
certainly, of course. For those of you that are tuning into our audio-only podcast, we now actually have an official Chase Interrupts counter to tally every time he mows over us in conversation. Adam and I got a lot of feedback on our beloved brother in the bottom there, Chase. He mows over us too many times. So we're picking on him for it. But,
yeah. Pretty sad.
I'm sorry. We'll talk to our legal and get an agreement in place that satisfies your all's emotional needs. And I really take back everything I said. But the good news is we are back again, and I bet we come back again for show 6.
Yes.
Top 10% in the world. Top 10% in the world. Right.
Official feedback.
I'm not going to interrupt. I'm not going to interrupt immediately, but we are top 10% in the world, and the backstage producer who makes this all happen, the Hater Inbox segment we debuted last week, went live for 2 weeks. Not much hater inbox in the email line, but we do have a lot of other inboxes. Tyler, I think via mail, you have some. Go ahead. Sorry. Right. Close.
We received some. I received some mail anonymously this past week, and as everybody knows, I wrecked my tractor this past summer, and so I was pleased to get a nice framed copy of the front of the movie Flipper with a little dolphin on there, with a nice note about hoping that I keep it on all 4 in 2024. I believe that was Kristen Meter that sent me that, I found out. So shout out to her for sending in some fan mail there. Not quite as intense as hate mail, but we'll take fan mail as well. Interaction is
we actually
like that.
We have sponsorship emails more than hate mail now, but we're here to grow a sport. We're not here to do anything other than that. And the numbers are trending. Everyone, a lot of excitement about this, and it's definitely because of we're really just being ourselves, I'd say. And even though you guys are a bit sensitive at times, this is about as organic and genuine of a show you're going to find about the only sport in the world where there is no practice. If you know of another sport, please email us in the inbox. Adam.
Yes, sir.
How was your Thanksgiving?
It was good, man. We actually stayed up here this year. We usually travel back and forth. Usually we're down in Tennessee. This year we stayed up here. It's good. Hung out up at the my uncle's farm, just kind of, eat a bunch of food, see a bunch of kids running around. And it's always 100 degrees in that damn building because I swear some of those people in there on Coumadin, which if you didn't know, that's a blood thinner, but it's usually pretty warm. We have a good time. Our family's big. It's pretty neat that they all hang around with us. So pretty good Thanksgiving. Just got to watch some football on Saturday. Went over to another couple of friends of ours' houses at our house and sat down and watched awesome college football games and stuff like that. So I'm all into like the football. If I have to be somewhere, I got to be doing something. So watching football is pretty fun.
Well, thanks for letting us know your second favorite sport in the world. That was an interruption I started before you did, Tyler.
Yeah, that's clean.
But I do know that you are you got to be thankful because for those of you, and again, our audience is growing week to week. We appreciate, we love you guys. Those of you that tune in, tell everyone you know. There's a reason why this thing's trending in the right direction, but we don't talk enough about Adam, what he does for a living. Adam is an engine builder. He is a premier engine builder in the high-performance motorsports world. Minor Brothers Engines, they're based out of his home right behind him. You can't see that side. That's his toys behind him. But MBR Engines, Adam don't like talking about it, but Tyler and I will. Probably his biggest clients or customers, I don't know the proper wordage, are our special guests tonight. Brandon, RJ, Simon Sez Motorsports, big MBR customers, big-time competitors. We'll get to that later, but I'm sure you're thankful for having Simon Sez Motorsports on the show tonight, right? Good Thanksgiving spinoff.
That's always a plus. Me and RJ talk a lot, man. When you do business, and they're ultimate professionals when it comes to that. I'm like, they are – like, I know a lot of people see this from the outside and they see him buying these vehicles and him and Brandon getting these vehicles. Guys, they're not buying these vehicles and just running them from where they are. They completely tear them apart, redo every fuel line, every inch of every vehicle that they've ever bought has been thoroughly gone through with a bunch of really good, smart guys' eyes on it. And they really are perfectionists when it comes to the pulling vehicles. I mean, just think about this. For the amount of vehicles that they have, every vehicle that they have, which any one class of vehicle that they have is a shitload of work. They have fucking 11 pulling vehicles at one point in time, and every single one of them are capable of winning the biggest pull in the world or any pull in the world. And just the amount of work that they do, it is mind-boggling to me, but it's pretty impressive. They're huge. They want to see the sport grow more than probably anybody does. They put on their own event. They do all their own things. I mean, they're just the best guys in the world. RJ, big buddy of mine, talk to him a lot. I don't talk to Brandon as much, but when we do, it's usually pretty good time. He's a really funny guy. And him and my buddies, they've kind of adopted each other here around home. They got a big group they're in, and it's just nonstop laughs with them, and they're just great. Look!
Put me up on the paper. I got to take this one. Just because they're your best customers don't mean you got to sell more product. We all know they're great. The results stand for themselves. I'm just giving you a hard time, Adam. No, they are elite, good. And we are.
All right,
we're thrilled to have them. I took that. I mean, we're not here for MBR Engines. Just because we said we all know how good they are. We all know that you won't let me and Tyler run them because we're going to probably beat you with them. But we just want to make sure we shout out. We just want to shout out MBR. Adam does do elite
Chase,
work. Real talk.
I'm going to interrupt you for a second. That's a testament for what I do. I actually care more about what my customers do more than I do. Like, I have my stuff tuned so it lives all year long, and I don't have to give it a lot of attention. I adjust the valves, change the oil, and stuff like that. And, I'd rather see you guys do good if you had my equipment more than anybody. I take pride in that. But it is difficult. But, we got a lot of really good customers. I'm very happy with all the guys that we got. Just, they keep me busy. And as long as they don't give me too hard a time on getting them parts and stuff, as hard as it is, then we're all good, So
you've already sucked up enough for this segment. You've already sucked up enough, Adam. We know how good they are.
Right.
So So on the topic of Thanksgiving, at the banquet at PBR Bar, there was a certain bartender that had some thanks to be giving to our beloved Chase. Chase and I were at PBR. There was some people scooping together.
We don't need to go here. We don't need to go here. This is public.
I think we do. I think we do. I think it's too good of a story not to share. Even if you don't want to share it, I don't care. So there was a couple of pullers scrapping together a couple of bucks. You know, there wasn't too many people there with very much money, but crowdsourcing we put together to get a VIP booth. Didn't we, Chase? Or didn't some pullers? I know I threw in $100. And we were having some beverages at PBR Bar, which if you're not familiar with PBR and you've never been there, there's a mechanical bull, and the bar is usually shoulder to shoulder, but you can pay, you can get a VIP booth, they call it, and you got some benches and a table, and they'll bring you bottles of booze and whatnot. And it's a nice experience. You're right there by the mechanical bull, so you can see all the talented young scholars, ladies that are riding the bull, demonstrating their talents, along with the innocent onlookers that think they're an all-star that go out there and almost break their neck. And what happened at the end of the evening there, Chase? Do you remember how that went?
Yeah, I mean, most of us like to have a good time, go out with our friends, and those that don't know the pulling community, you know, it's very tight-knit, and it's tight-knit for a lot of reasons, but I think everyone shares the same thing in common whenever they go out. If you didn't know these group of middle-aged adults out participating at a bar, you act like a bunch of 21-year-olds, you wouldn't know what the hell was going on, because that's really what happens when pulling people get together. So PPL Banquet, downtown Louisville, there's PBR, and we've all seen these VIP sections of any club. I'm not a big VIP guy. I don't like to sit down when I'm in those social settings. It's not my thing, but there was basically a charity hat going around. Hey, let's get a VIP section. You know, let's do this, do that. And like I didn't engage, and there was plenty of other people there. But long story short, they get the VIP section. The night's a great night. You know, like most great nights, it goes fast, and you look up and the VIP section's gone. And you look at your clock, it's 1:32 in the morning, and the place went from wall to wall, shoulder to shoulder. And the bad part about it, I wasn't even going to go out that night, but Tyler made me go out.
Absolutely.
So I'm there with Tyler, 2 a.m. with a couple other fellow pulling friends and talking about some high-level stuff at 2 a.m. in the morning. You could only imagine how deep the conversations were. And there's a scene over there. There's this emptied-out VIP area, and there's this scene. The nice lady who was the server there, I guess, I never stepped foot in it. She is getting yelled at and screamed at by her boss, the manager, and she's over there in tears.
Correct?
Yeah, there was tears. And, you know, I'm with this group of pullers, Tyler being there, and we're like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? And Tyler
Chase like a knight in shining armor on his white horse gallops over to the scene of our fair lady in distress and comes to the rescue, didn't you, Chase?
She was in tears and she's screaming, "Were you with these tractor pullers? Were you with these tractor pullers?" I said, "Yes." "You owe us money. You didn't pay for the VIP section." I said, "Well, I wasn't with those tractor pullers." And I'm not going to call them by name. They're very recognizable pullers, some of the best in the world at pulling. If you want to, I'm sure they're probably watching the show. If you want to reveal who you are, feel free to comments. They know that all this happened. But anyway, the girl basically was getting fired. Her boss was yelling at her. She gave me the bill of the balance. It was either pay the bill, the girls go out in the streets at 2 a.m. I don't make the best decisions, and I paid the tab, and I didn't have one drink. And then even better yet, she comes back and the tears are gone. She said, "Well, they didn't tip me." And she hands me the thing to sign off. And I was like, "Well, you supposed to, that's just how I eat. This is what I do." And so I gave a tip, and then, you know, the guys that left the VIP area, I saw them. Huh?
A tip or just the tip? I mean, geez.
It was a pricey amount left. But the moral story is,
did it start with a 1, 2, or 3? Or 4? 3.
The moral of the story is, at 2 a.m. when your buddy says go save that situation, just walk out the bar. Just walk out the bar. So, but yesterday was Giving Tuesday. That was 2 weeks ago. That was PPL Banquet Giving Friday is the way I look at it. But you pullers, you know who you are. Feel free to reveal yourself via the comment section.
And that was very nice of you, Chase, because like you said, she was going to be out on the streets. So it's fair to say from confession that at 2 a.m., Chase Richardson spent hundreds of dollars to keep a fine-looking individual, a woman, off the streets at 2 a.m. That's very kind of you, Chase.
Giving Friday, PPL banquet.
Yes.
Yep. So we're all about growing this sport. There's good people. I know this is Oz's mistake. The next day at the hotel, they didn't believe me. They thought I was making it up, but luckily Tyler was there to tell them every detail and then say the dumbass even gave her a tip. So it's all been taken care of, and hopefully the more good you do, it comes back in return. We will be back at PBR probably in February, Tyler. So
Chase, I got a second here. I want to ask you, Louisville's usually pretty good for some stories. A few years back, I think we kind of got a little scuffle down there, did we?
We'll say that for another show. We'll say that for another show.
No. I just want to hear. I'll sum it up really quick. We valeted a car. We came out of the bar. The car wasn't there. It was pretty late. There were some words exchanged between some people. And Chase, didn't you swing on somebody but knocked out your buddy Eric?
Well, back when I was younger, only a couple of years ago, I made some questionable decisions, and we'll probably get to that later. We'll get to that later in the show, but I think that's a great one to bring back up in the future, because we're already running behind, guys. I mean, this is Thanksgiving and Giving Friday at the PPL banquet. Like, it's about that, not about prior engagements of altercations at downtown Louisville. So
why is it that every time we want to bring up a story about you kind of move on from it? I mean, I think this is good stuff. This is about
you. This is about MBR engines and the guys running MBR engines tonight. So we'll do a special guest segment where it's just us on here one day, and then we'll relive all these stories. So and by the way,
that's true. There's a lot of good ones.
We've got high profile.
By the way, the numbers record again, 300 plus people watching on all platforms. We love you guys. Keep spreading the word. As Tyler likes to say, this train is moving.
That's right.
I think, we got to announce our next guest. Not this, but 2 weeks from now, which is December 16th, I think.
Yes. So we're doing a for 2 weeks from now for our guests. We are going to have on somebody from the Unlimited class, and instead of making that decision ourselves,
December 13th. Give me number 3, December 13th.
Yeah, that's clean.
That's a plausible one.
That was
December
a fair
13th.
One. I like that contribution.
Okay,
December 13th.
So what you don't know, really quick, what you don't know is if we fill that board up tonight, you're shotgunning a beer, Tyler's shotgunning a beer, and I'm probably going to do one too.
I've never done that before. I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. So December 13th, we are going to have on a guest from the Unlimited class, and we are going to let the fans decide. We're going to make a Facebook post on the Full Pull Facebook page, and how fans react to that. There is 7 different little smiley faces, if you want to call them that. Emoticons, I believe, is what the kids call them these days. However you react, that reaction is going to equal a name. Whatever reaction has the most, or whatever name has the most reactions, that is who we're going to have on in 2 weeks. So I see somebody saying, "Shut up, you guys, and get to the Simons." So
no. Hey, dude, it's not a link to a poll. It's a Facebook post. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I said. Did I say a link?
Sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah. So get on Facebook now. You can engage as we speak, or you can do it until next Wednesday. We're literally going. It's a link. It's a link, not a. I told it wrong. It's a link, not a like.
It is a link.
Yeah, I apologize.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway, we want you fans to pick the next guest. You don't have to do it tonight. You can do it all next week. We went literally the top unlimited class is the greatest class in pulling in terms of the horsepower. Mini rods is the toughest to drive, but unlimited class, there's nothing like it. So Adam Bauer's already been on. You can vote on any of the top 7 competitors of who we want on the next show, if they're brave enough to step up. But to this point, we've yet to be told no by anyone. And if they do say no, we'll probably establish not for growing pulling Hall of Fame that can get inducted to. I think that'd be good to a sport.
That's the thing. Yes.
Not growing the sport Hall of Fame. I think that there's potential of that, but I don't think anybody wants to go in there.
No, not at all. I believe we have one more segment to introduce, and it is the No Practice podcast. Well, I guess there was practice, but do we want to have our guests on to take part in that?
We wish we had a little practice after seeing some of these.
Should we intro our guests first, bring them on, and then run through that segment, and then get into interviewing them?
No. Let's not.
I feel like we should.
I mean, we're supposed to have a script here, right?
Oh, okay. Well, as you can tell, the way I butchered.
Bring the guest on. Yeah. Bring the guest on.
All right.
Make it number 5. Bring the guest on. There they are.
Adam, tell us about our guests. Intro these fine gentlemen.
All right, guys. For all our audio listeners here, this is
we're having some technical difficulties.
Brandon and RJ Simon,
I can't hear you guys.
Legends in the pulling world. And
let's proceed with the other segment.
Okay. All right. Guys, this is our worst technical difficulty, not going to lie. For those of you tuning in, our apologies on that. First, I butchered the poll, and now we're butchering this. If we can roll into the next segment called the No Practice Podcast, man, I wish there was practice segment.
The No Practice Podcast. Man, I wish there was a practice segment.
Oh, my God!
So what this is we're going to do a little flashback to a fine evening in 2009 in Troy, Missouri, where a young 20-year-old Chase Richardson had been pulling a two-wheel drive truck for just 4 years. And he had a little mishap, and we're going to watch over that. And we're going to witness it firsthand and give our play-by-play on what happened. Let's take a look.
It's Chase Richardson driving the Chase This two-wheel drive truck. Leaves the line smooth.
Things are going good. Oh, shit, something's smoking. What's going on here, boys? Oh, God, there goes the front weight bracket. The engine's running away. Chase gets out of it. He waves the flagman off, says, "Save yourself, save the women and children," and he takes off running for the starting line. And it was about at the back of the sled where he realized, I can still pull the kill switch and shut my motor off. Runs back towards the front of the sled, and then the motor dies. And what you can't hear is OJ, can we get some sound on that? We really need to hear the motor just taking off. And for those of you that are just listening to the audio, this is Chase making a pass in his truck, and things are going good till about 200 foot, and oil starts spraying everywhere, and he lifts the blower, and the motor just starts free revving, which is pretty normal in pulling. But the best part is Chase waving the flag official off, saying, "Save yourself," leaping from his two-wheel drive truck faster than what Jeff Hurt would get off of his unlimited super, and just flees for the starting line, shouting to the flag guy, "Save yourself." There it is. And the flag guy listens. The flag guy's like, "Oh, shit, this is bad." And the flag guy just takes off running. For those of you that are audio only, you need to come back to the live stream at about 24 and a half minutes in to witness our poor beloved Chase back in 2009 destroying the motor on his two-wheel drive truck and then just running scared. Chase, walk us through what was going through your mind that evening.
First off, why was this not talked about in the pre-show? I thought we were doing the weigh-in section. So thanks for going back door on me, guys. I love this segment already. So yeah. The good part about the world we live in is everything is videoed and you can't get away from anything. So like the funniest part of this video, I'm not mad at all. Actually, I think it's hilarious, is the wave away from the flag official. So I think if my memory serves me right, an oil line blew off, and my young self did not let out the throttle, and then it detonated as you talked about, and then you're sitting on top of the motor there, and it's running free and wide open, and then right here, get out of there, abort mission. The guy takes a run from the grandstands, and then she pretty well just melted down from there on out.
When you took off running to the starting line, where were you heading? What was at the starting line to save you?
Well, again, at age 20, there's a lot of things that go through your head. Honestly, at age 35, I am now, I'd probably do the same thing again. But all I could think about was my manhood and the years I had ahead of me. And if that motor blew up between my legs, we've talked oftentimes about sitting on top of motors, but that's as close as I've ever been to one. And I just wasn't willing to take that. I wasn't willing to take that risk. So, I just aborted mission and then ran to the back of the sled. And by the time I got back there, I realized, oh shit, I should just go pull a kill switch.
And the irony
for those of you who don't know, Adam, explain to them if a motor detonates like that, and you have an on-off kill like ignition switch, why will it not turn off sometimes?
Well, okay, so like on these things, depending on back then what the system was, but a lot of the times, these things, if they detonate and there's a lot of fuel in them, when that blower lifts, and it usually messes up the barrel valve linkage too, because the barrel valve linkage kind of controls the engine. If the
see the butterflies wide open there? The butterfly. Yeah, I'm sorry, Adam.
It could be given, the engine fuel, but when that blower lifts, it's sucking air through the engine. So it's going to continue to run unless you kill the ignition system. Well, we've all had instances maybe sometimes where the stuff wants to just run free there for a second if you don't kill the engine, and you're trying to get the hell out of there. I've been on fire once. I mean, it's you just
to be quite honest.
I'm pretty sure
be quite honest.
He thinks he's like Ricky Bobby. He just thinks he's like, I'm on fire. He's running away, just roll. I can't believe he didn't start stripping down and just rolling on the ground on fire.
Running around in his
Pulling fans, welcome back to our special guests who come onto the show. Their first words ever are Ricky Bobby, guys. What better intro than that? You guys on.
Chase is such a big deal. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Ricky Bobby. I want to go fast.
I'm with
that
you,
was.
Chase.
I think I
better until it quits.
I could have used the Hans device. Look at me bobbing around in there. Maybe I should tighten the seatbelt a little bit. I think RJ, this is when I decided to get out two-wheel drive pole and build a mini rod. After that,
there's a mini rod video of you just a year or so ago that was definitely shows that you needed something to hold your head because your extension down to your pelvic region was a little extensive.
Is that Marilyn Manson driving that thing or what?
Where's that mini rod clip? Can we see that mini rod clip? OJ's got to have that. Henry, 2022, I think.
Yeah, it's epic.
So
Brandon, you went to that two-wheel drive truck. What do you have, Brandon? You'd have stayed right in it.
Yeah, I stayed right with it.
That's
you
right.
You always hit her till she quit.
Damn right.
All right, guys. Without further ado, we need to introduce. We had a little technical difficulties. We're still new at this shit, so we're still trying. But without further ado, our guest, RJ.
In that video. Sorry.
Ding! We're gonna knock him with another interruption. It's only 5. We're gonna fill that whole board up here soon. So
yes.
RJ, Brandon, Simon, Simon Sez Pulling Team. 2 of the best guys that I know as far as like trying to grow the sport and being involved in as much as they can. They promote their own pool. They bring a vehicle for every class basically to whatever pool, whenever, however. They're in
every pool. So,
love these guys to death. How are you guys doing tonight?
Good.
How are you guys? Thanks for having us.
Than's for coming on.
What's your
now you say thank you. Now you say thank you, RJ. Yeah. After you got your comments in.
OJ, thanks OJ for all your help, buddy. You're doing a great job.
Yep. Yeah. He's a good one. So
Brandon. So RJ's the guy who's always talking, and I don't mean talking badly, but like he's a well-known guy. Both of you well-known, but he's kind of speaker, the guy visually. Is this your first world debut on a public podcast?
Yeah, to this kind of caliber.
Yeah, there we go.
So this is go ahead.
No, you interrupted me. Just go.
This is a family show to grow the sport, but we also accommodate to our guests. So if there's any question that we can't ask or you're not comfortable answering, just let us know prior. Sometimes Adam feels like he needs to play that card, but I don't think that's going to be a problem with you or your brother. Because if your brother gets held up, you'll just answer for him, right?
Yeah. But I think one thing we ain't got right yet is that board behind Tyler. I don't think it's near big enough.
Oh, the Chase interrupts board. Yeah, I'm going to have to start getting smaller penmanship here by the end. No, guys, it's awesome to have you on. We've all been out to Iowa and had a great time there. When it comes to interviews, I feel like Brandon has definitely given the tractor pulling world some of their more colorful interviews. Nobody can deny that. And we all love you for that. One of my questions would be, we've got RJ kind of steering the trucking company and leading that whole thing, and I believe Brandon steering the farming operation and raising cattle and all that. Brandon, I'd like to hear from you why RJ couldn't do your job, and on the contrary, I'd like to hear from RJ why Brandon couldn't do his job. If you want to break that down.
Go ahead.
Because you guys
he couldn't deal with all the bullshit that all the bulls give me, so he had to go move on with life. And
so when you say bullshit, you mean actual feces from cows? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he just got to move on. Well, there's nobody underneath me to take farming over, so that's what I do.
Now, when you say nobody underneath you to take it over, I know recently you guys got into a bit of a breeding war trying to see who could have more children. Is that correct?
Oh, kind of, but it's been all fun with the kids and everything, and wouldn't trade them for nothing.
Of course.
Them growing up around the sport's really good.
Your kids are born on the same day, right? Didn't you? Okay, so you tell us a little story about how your dad, you guys both approached your dad to tell him that you both were both pregnant, and we
weren't pregnant.
Yeah, we weren't pregnant.
Our wives were.
Our wives were.
Right, your wives were pregnant, but
it's 2023. It's hard to tell.
Yeah, but didn't you have those kids on the same day? Like literally.
Yeah, our second one was born on the same day in the same year.
Wow,
that's crazy. It's crazy. It's awesome.
What's the running tally of children?
We each got 4.
Each got 4, so it's a tie. Is there one of you looking to take the lead, or?
We're just waiting for our buddies to catch up.
Okay, that makes sense.
I got a lot of work ahead of me. That's you 3, just so you know.
Is that us? Is that? Yeah, we got one.
Chase, you got a long ways to go, buddy. What's going on?
Yeah, the old Panthers gonna have to get after it.
Yeah. All right. Now we need to hear from RJ why Brandon couldn't do his job.
Well, Brandon couldn't do my job because there's a lot of. I actually had this talk today. There's a lot of employees in the trucking side, a lot of drivers, a lot of other employees, and he's not a. His exact comments were, the cattle don't talk back to me. I said, well, they could kick you, yeah, but they still can't talk back to me. So I think that's a pretty firm reason why, and I wouldn't want his job because I like keeping my boots clean.
That makes pretty good sense. I've always been fascinated how you guys are brothers, yet totally polar opposite personalities to an extent, but you couldn't be pigeonholed for your jobs better for what you do every day. It's pretty neat.
Right.
Chase, what do you got?
So you guys, I'm sure, have listened. We have a lot of fans and new people to the sport that are interested in the sport, and I think it's Adam spoke briefly about how much he loves you as customers. But I don't know how much he got into the whole, you guys obviously are premier pullers. We'll talk about pulling a lot, but you guys are also and it started, with your late father, Roger, very successful in everything you basically touch. You may not want to say that, but I'll say it for you. Out of Farley, Iowa, Tyler led with the question, the trucking company, the cattle operation. I'm going to go through everything I know, but please just give an overall state of the operation. Simon's Trucking, based out of Farley, Iowa. You run how many trucks on the road, RJ? Probably.
So there's about 120 trucks that run. We run coast to coast. Everything from van, reefer, tanker, all different kinds of tankers, from pressurized tank hauling LP anhydrous to right up to hauling, yeast to make your bread. And we do a lot of cleaning chemicals. Batteries, almost a lot of batteries in the Midwest we've hauled. We do a lot of different things, but basically our motto is, if you call, we can haul it. So,
and I can testify to that.
From?
What was that, Adam?
What do you try to stay away from?
Trucking wise, just
dump buckets, dump beds.
We don't do any end dump stuff, but we do a lot of hopper bottom, a lot of stuff like that. A lot of belt. There's more belt trailer work around here in hopper bottom than there is end dump stuff. But, yeah.
So that's a trucking side. What else do you do instead of Chase going through it? Just tell us what all you do, because I know you guys have had, fertilizer business. You've had grain elevator stuff. Tell us, run us through what all you guys. Because I don't think people realize what all you guys do. You're very busy all the time. You work constantly.
Yeah, we had a fertilizer company. We just sold that out to Nutrien about a year ago. We had a big feed mill and grain elevator. We sold that about 6 months ago. We still have one grain elevator, but we have the racetrack right next door and a Milestone Event Center, and Brandon's feeding over 8,000 head of cattle every day. Wow. And we're busy. There's a lot goes on. It's not just us, though. We've got 2 sisters that are in this with us, but both their husbands. We actually, I usually call them my brothers, because my sisters aren't around here as much, but my brother-in-laws are here every day working, got their, in the grind of it with us all the time. So they're a huge, huge part of all this.
Whole family operation.
Yes.
Awesome.
Brendan, there was a comment on there about your winter circle speech from Bowling Green 2022. I feel like we'd be foolish to ignore that. Can you walk us through that speech and how that went?
You'll have to replay them. They're always pretty good.
Well, give us your version of it. We've got you here live.
Hey, and Brandon, you can play the Adam Kessler card. I passed this question if you need to.
No, I think he just needs to recite it, because he don't live on what he said. The guy says what he says when it's on his mind and what he thinks. So I think there's no doubt about that. I just think that sometimes I applaud Brandon for saying this shit that he says. If I'd run better, I'd get in the winner circle to where I'd say this shit too, because I think it's how everybody feels. It's just everybody's afraid to say it, and you're not afraid to say it. And when you make a 380-foot pass at Toma and you're the first hook and nobody's going to touch it, and they reset the class and they kill the class, it needs to be brought up, and you have no problem fucking saying shit like that. I applaud you. Am I wrong or am I wrong?
No, I always just said it, a little loose lip. Don't judge a guy by being a little loose lip unless you walked in his shoes. So, if you feel it on your mind, let it happen.
Awesome.
One thing about Brandon, he's never going to talk behind your back. He'll tell you right to your face how he feels, and that's the same way he's going to do it on a loudspeaker. There's been some people that don't like what he says and don't like how he says it. Well, like I said, the cattle don't talk back to him, so he's used to talking like that. If he drops an F-bomb at a bull, they don't really usually say nothing or anything like that.
But going back to that speech at Bowling Green, so whatever happened, I guess, the next day at the driver's meeting, Rich Mine pulls me aside and said, "Hey, just to let you know, we had a big conversation about this, and you feel guilty about it." I said, "Guilty about what?" "That interview." I was like, "Okay, yep, we're good." He got a lot of grief over that, but he took the heat for me. But what are they going to do? They can't take my birthday away. So
what is it? Is it the president? Who gives a shit what you say? Everybody in the stands knows exactly what you're feeling. So
in that aspect, though, pro stocks for last class. By the time he did his winter circle speech, if there was 300 people there, I'd have been amazed. It was basically live streamers that were left. Let's be honest.
So what did he say?
I'm glad we're on this. I'm glad we're on this subject. Like, you don't have to name names, but like
the F-bomb is fuck.
Oh,
they get a little upset when you say that, I guess, on the loudspeaker.
But
some black
is
dude
they?
with pants around his ankles can say the F-bomb all the time at a music concert. So what's the difference?
No shit.
So you guys are both obviously hardcore competitors, and you travel all over across the United States of America. From a motorsports standpoint, everyone has a crazy travel story. I'm sure you may have heard the Adam Bowers segment where he took out the toll booth with the awning out. All the years you guys going up the road, what is the craziest when you're pulling? What's the craziest thing that's happened? And RJ, I can see your reaction. What's the craziest thing? Craziest thing, or throw a couple out there that's happened.
You got a real good one.
All right, good.
All right, so we're on our way to Fort Recovery. We left late. No, the Fort Recovery one's better.
Okay.
So we're on our way to the Fort Recovery. We're just about to Fort Wayne. We run up behind a Cheez-It truck. We're like, oh, we can just follow them. We're set.
Blackburns,
Blackburns. Adam's driving it. Josh is in the back sleeping because he's never awake, So RJ's following him. I'm following RJ.
Oh.
We hit 2 roundabouts. I was like, we shouldn't be here. I hollered on the CB, and he's like, I'm just following them. Well, they only had a semi-tractor with a trailer. And here we are with these toters and 53 and 60-foot trailers. Next thing I know, we're going down a street with cars parked on both sides, and there's about 3 inches on each side. Get up to a stop sign, and Cheez-It just makes the right-hand turn. I hollered on the radio. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make that turn. I made that turn, but Jerry had to bend the stop sign over. And then I had my steer axle on the other side of the sidewalks about 2 foot from the guy's foundation of his house and went through a yard.
What time of night was this?
About 3:30 in the morning. But the best was when we're on that street, I had the windows down because I had tinted windows, and Jerry's riding shotgun, and my wife and kids are in the back. And I said, Jerry's like, boy, we're in the hood now. I mean, there were 30 people in the front yard of this one house. I was like, just be quiet. We got to get through this.
Yeah. And then we make that turn, and we're like, we're in the clear. All right, we're good now. That was the only bad turn. We're good now. Next thing you know, we start coming up on the bridges that are 13.4 or that we're trying to get under. It's just terrible. We had one thing after another. It wasn't going right. So to this day, whenever we see Adam, what's his nickname? God dang it.
Speaking words.
No. It's Adam Steinbeck is his name, but he's got a nickname, but I can't think of it. I'm drawing a blank. But
it sounds like his nickname should be Backroad.
So every time we're like, hey, do you know the directions to get through Fort Wayne? And it's always you can F off, or he's like, are you ever going to forget that? So we always say we're not following. So if you ever get behind Cheez-It or Blackburn's rigs, never follow them around Fort Wayne. You're going to get lost.
That's funny.
So Brandon,
it's the first year.
Can you reenact RJ?
Oh, it's the first year Jordan was with us. So Jordan's riding with me, and I'm just screaming at Jordan, like, get me the F out of this town. Like, figure it out. Get a GPS going. He's like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, he's trying to navigate. Brandon's on the CB. Like, you're a moron. This is stupid. I don't know why I follow you. Can't read a map.
I just keyed the mic the one time, and I said, this ain't the way we needed to go. He goes, if you got a better way, take it. I said, no, you got me into the mess. You can get me out of here.
That was
I think what some people don't realize is, like, I don't know how many years ago is that, but there was a large majority of time that when I was driving, when I was younger, we didn't have the cell phone or the GPS. It was reading maps, and I ain't gonna lie. My dad went to bed one night. He's like, Adam, drive. When you get to this sign, follow this road. Me and Van Perrine were sitting in the front seat of the motor, and we're fucking driving. 2 hours later, my dad comes up there on his ass. He's like, where the fuck are you guys going? I said, what? He's like, you should have turned by now. We were like, I don't know, 15 miles from the coast when we should have went south, like, I don't know, 40 miles back. I missed the damn road. We just fucking, didn't have it. We just had an Atlas.
Then we wheeled into that pole and we got parked. Adam had to give us a stop leak because we managed to crack a fuel tank in that whole jump and curve situation. Yeah, and then we got to sleep, and at about 3 hours later, we get a knock on our door from the promoter that year. You need to move over 4 foot, and I'm telling you what, it was a close call to us hurting somebody.
That brings up a good question that this may be a good one to ask all of our guests and ask Adam and Tyler. RJ and Brandon, how old were you when you were driving a semi to your first tractor pull? Or like on the road illegally, most likely. How old were you? Because I can answer this myself, and I'm sure Adam can too.
Sure.
I don't know. I drove a motorhome to Florida when I was 14 and drove a semi-trailer probably when I was 16, 17.
Right.
RJ?
I took a pickup in Gooseneck with one of my buddies who was 16 and I was 15 out to Arcola, Indiana, just me and him. So it was just a pickup in Gooseneck. I had to be 18. When I turned 18, I took my first semi up to Toma, Poland.
So needless to say, you guys broken the law before then.
Well, I mean,
that was before that. We broke the law.
Yeah, we broke the law before that.
Adam, how old are you?
37, about to be 38.
No, how old were you when you started driving illegally to a tractor pull?
Well, I don't know. Shit, I don't know. I was in the motorhome. See, the thing with my dad was he never wanted to stop. So we had motorhomes the whole time. And he would have to go to the bathroom, which my dad to go to the bathroom is he pushed his damn steering wheel forward. Hey, get up here. I'd stand next to the steering wheel. We're going 70 mile an hour down the road with cruise on. He fucking slides out the seat. I jump in and I drive. Well, he's got to go, knuckle to butt, as we called it, back to the bathroom. I don't know if he went back there and played with his hair or whatever the fuck he was doing, but it seemed like for a long time that he would be back there and he'd finally get back up there. And we'd gone, 10 or so miles. I remember doing that fairly young, like probably 15, 14. That was a pretty big rig though, motorhome in the trailer. So I don't know. We had for those so weird for me. If there was a truck sitting, I would just go out and get in it. I'd had to move trucks all the time for my dad. He couldn't do it. So hell, I think I was 3-4 years old. I'd be holding my arms on the steering wheel, pushing the clutch, and I'd have to pull a dump bed a little bit further in the bay or something so it wouldn't get rained on or whatnot. So I drove around a lot, but up and down the road, probably not until I was about 14, 15. What about you, Tyler?
I would say the first time was when I was 16 and we had our beautiful high-class 1985 Max Superliner, and my dad put some aftermarket cruise control on it because it was a manual. I didn't know that.
We've been there. Yeah, dude, that truck.
And yeah, RJ is familiar with this vehicle. And so my dad sets the cruise and he slides out and I slide in and he's like, the cruise is set. You're good. Doesn't even tell me how to turn the cruise off. Doesn't tell me the shift pattern and just goes in the back to like probably take a shit or something. And I'm up there for like 10 minutes. And I don't think my eyes could have gotten any bigger. And I was just sweating the whole time. And I'm like, I don't know how to slow this thing down. I don't know how to turn the cruise off. I don't know how to anything. And so I just navigated traffic for about 10 minutes. And he came back up and I slid over and he sat down and he was like, what the hell did you do? Piss yourself? I'm like, no, I'm just sweating that badly. Just saturated through my shirt, through my pants, everything in like 10 minutes.
Tyler, did you hear the story about us taking that thing home?
No, tell me all about it.
So we bought that toter. Well, we bought the box from Bruce.
Yes.
And we come up and got it, and we're driving it through Chicago, and Bruce has just rebuilt this engine, and it was an expensive engine. It was all built by Francis and all them guys. And we're driving it back through Chicago, and the same thing happened, or it didn't. The cruise control, he told us it works fine. Oh, you just do this and hit this. Nope. So we wound up around the pump, and we stuck the pump wide open, going right through Chicago in rush hour and that thing. And we're like, oh, shit. So I'm worried about wrecking this new engine of Bruce's. So I'm on the phone with him. Hey, can I pull the kill? This ain't going to lean it out and, like, blow it up, is it? No, you'll be fine. Why? I'm like, because the pump's stuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was my
I seen a few cars coming pretty quick, and I was like, just step the clutch in, let her blow up.
Yeah, let her blow up. I did know that motor was recently rebuilt because Bruce had to get it rebuilt after I threw a rod in it. But it wasn't when I threw a rod in it, but I did have the throttle stick as well. It wasn't the first time I drove it, thankfully. But there's nothing more terrifying than being in a semi with like 1,000 horsepower at the rear wheels, heading downhill towards a bridge with traffic on it, watching the speedometer just climb, smoke rolling out of the side, just downhill. Thankfully, it's got a manual fuel shutoff. Hot tip. You can run that as a reverse throttle and get to safety before you kill everyone around you.
This is a show where you learn about safety first. And for those of you that have no idea the travel stories, we all have them. Some will reveal them. Luckily, Brandon and RJ are pretty transparent guys, but everyone has stories of being on the road, and some of the best stories we have are on the road. These large 18-wheelers that you drive by on the highway and you see these sleepers on, these long trailers. Next time you drive by them, just keep in mind there could be a underage kid in there driving to let his dad go in the back and take a shit next time, because we all have these stories, and this is just real life. I mean, and the other thing we will mention, because someone's going to say, well, how do you get away with that? Well, you get away with it because you don't get pulled over. Exactly. So
that, and they're a registered RV, not for hire. So technically, you only right.
Let's not talk about that, because we got a lot of positivity about this show. There could be a lot of pullers, and we could have some emails in the hater inbox about us revealing secrets of transporting. But yes, we are driving motorhomes.
All right. We'll change the subject then. RJ, we all know that you love buying and selling various different items. I would like to know what thing you bought and what thing you sold that got you in the hottest water, because I'm sure there are some things that, not when you buy, but when you get rid of them also, where people are like, what the hell are you doing? I liked that, whether that be a toter or a tractor. Go for it.
I'd say the hardest or the hottest thing that gets me into hot water is these mods. Like buying a team out with a mod. Like if you've had them on the show before, but there's some guys that got a couple 4 engines they want to get rid of because they're blowing smoke, and it's just hard to sell mods. It's so many pieces, and like the trying to keep all the numbers straight, and like mods are hard. Like I get more calls on trying to buy modifieds, people want to sell me mods, than any of you would even imagine. But it's hard to buy and sell a mod, and it usually gets me in hot water because we end up getting one, like the one behind us, the 4-engine mod, and then my brother runs it and then decides he doesn't want to sell it. It's like, oh man, this thing's pretty cool.
So when
let's go win a championship with this thing.
And they did.
So Were you the first one to go to everyone, RJ, and say, hey, I think I'm going to buy not 1 but 2 mods, correct, from the longs?
Actually, it just kind of started I think myself I think me and Ricky kind of knew what was going on ahead of time, so to speak. And he kept quizzing me, what do you know? What do you know? And I kept saying, what do you know? What do you know? And it was back and forth. Next thing you know, he's like, we're going to sell our mods. And one thing led to another. And we talked for months on it. And I thought he was just kind of kidding, because like the mod, like longs not pulling was a big shock for me. Like, right. I couldn't believe it. And when we actually did it and went down there and picked everything up, and it was just kind of surreal, and got it all home and unloaded it all, we're like, how are we ever going to sell all this? And then within like less than 30 days, 75% of it's sold, and it's like, okay.
So I want to know.
Some people may not know about that whole deal is that you guys bought out longs after you sold a tractor that had 4 brand new engines on it.
Yeah.
Walsh.
We were over the 4-engine deal. Like Brandon was full-fledged into the pro stock deal, and I had my heart set on, like, I want to do good in the 2-wheelers, and Jordan's like, I don't care about 2-wheel drives, where's my mini? And I'm like,
that's right.
Minis are, and all I'm thinking is like, mini rods are for a bunch of jerks, you know. I mean, I'm not into that because you guys are prejudiced to fat people, and I don't agree with it, and I think I should sue you.
That's right.
So watch your mailboxes for a lawsuit. But I don't know. It was just tough, and then all of a sudden we decided to keep the one mod, and Bill Voorhees bought the other one, and then the motors started selling off the one tractor, and
it takes time with everything you guys do. It takes a lot of time.
Brandon,
and then Adam just keeps telling us that. Adam just keeps like, well, you know, your other motors were better. Your other motors you had on your 4-engine that you sold were better. He just keeps rubbing that in my face, and I'm like,
I don't know.
Okay. And then all I had to say was, so you're saying the motors that are on are no good? No, I didn't say that. I'm like, well, that's what I heard.
Hey, Brandon and RJ, hang on. I got to interrupt you one time. When was the last time you got your when was the last time you got your ass kissed? Like someone really kissed your ass bad? Like, do you know? Because if you don't know, go to the intro of the show and Adam kisses your all's ass for like 3 minutes about the greatest pullers of all time. They're this, they're that. And obviously, we all agree with that. But he does do business with you.
Like, I mean, you don't see beer cans falling out of my two-wheel drive when I win. You know what I mean? Like, we're classy pullers. We're not trashy pullers.
RJ, can you please elaborate on what you're talking about there?
Well, I'm sitting down at the end of the track, like just chilling, watching Rockwell this year, and all of a sudden, you know, there's this black two-wheel drive. I forget what it's called. I think it's
Chase This.
Panther.
No, it's called.
Was it Chase This? Was the one on video Chase This? No, it was Chase This, the T bucket.
Yeah, it's Chase This. That's what it was. And I'm telling you what. At the end of the run, there was an empty Michelob Ultra can that fell at the bottom, which I'm pretty sure that Donald planted it there for you. But anyway, it was a little controversial. There was a lot of people at the end of the track that weren't thrilled about it, and I just couldn't help but laugh. I'm like, this is kind of funny. Like,
it was funny until the dirt stuck to it.
Yeah. Once we realized it wasn't empty, and then they're like, yeah, his cup holder broke off. Like CJ's like, he just put a cup holder on it. So like two-wheel drive pulling's so fun. Like you can do it with a beer in your left hand.
Nobody fears.
Hey, RJ, your story is debatable, but I mean, there's three sides to every story, but the one side that's always true. Who won the pull? Who won the pull that day? Who won? I can't remember.
Well, it was the guy with the $90,000 engine, not me. I couldn't afford that. If I could afford, we tried buying a Noonan once, and we were like, holy shit. We were going to have to take out a second mortgage on the house. We're like, no way we can afford an engine like that, let alone 15 of them, for Christ's sakes.
This is about life lessons. There are three sides to every story. I hear your side, but the one side, results are always one side. So who won the pull again?
Hey,
this guy.
Hey,
I'm just
yeah, exactly. Where'd you end up at the end of the year, though? What was the consistency of that?
Look, I didn't. I was just asked one question. I know where to stop. I know where to stop. So
yeah, that's the halt to all that. So I got a question for Brandon.
Chase, we ain't got no room to talk because how many championships have you or I won? 0. So
as much as
Adam, you all right, buddy? There you are.
Oh, it's freezing.
Froze out.
We got you back now. Go for it.
You're back. You're
Okay.
back.
I'm good now. My bad. I was going to ask Brandon. This is more of a question to you about Rodney Markwell, one of my buddies. So, like, one of the first times when we actually came up to the pool there in Farley,
2020,
we were parked up close, and my buddy Rodney comes strolling in your guys' shop, and there's a bunch of people around
after 2 a.m.
And those pro stocks are very new to you at that time, but he comes walking in with this big long black thing, a suction cup, and sticks it to that pro stock tractor. For anybody who doesn't know, it's a huge black dildo. But anyways, like, I want to know, because I was watching you whenever he did it, and I thought you could almost killed him for smacking that thing on that beautiful green paint. But I mean, everybody thought it was hilarious. It was a pretty good time. Is that what really got you and Rodney such the bond of friendship?
Yeah, he's to my level.
He's up there.
Him and Tyler and all them guys, good shit.
Yeah, they are. You guys had a lot of fun in Evansville here a few years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, we're coming back.
You're coming back. Gonna run some porta potties over. My buddy Casey Kramer's gonna mow some porta potties over, and what do you come out? Dodge pickup, motor down.
Yeah. It was a good time.
Absolutely adore you. I mean, they're just on another level. I think you guys connect really well because they're they love you guys, and I think it's hysterical just being around you guys all the time. It's so funny.
Adam, we're not here for you to sell more motors. We know they're good guys. Tyler, next question.
At least some motors we can afford.
Yeah, you don't think I'm worried that thing maybe left some marks on that beautiful green paint.
There weren't
the best was when it got stuck to the ground and watching Jerry weighing about 300 pounds trying to get that sucker off the ground. It was comical.
The best is where it ended up. It was on the back of a black trailer at
Chapel Hill.
Yeah, I think I might have a picture of that if we could. I'll get OJ to pull that up.
Yeah,
I think he was doing an interview too that day.
I think he was doing an interview.
I think you guys need your own podcast.
We would. We can't afford the equipment.
It's relatively affordable. You know that because I've got it.
All right, my turn for the question. My turn for the question. So RJ, again, people that are tuning in may not understand. You buy, sell, trade a lot of pulling equipment.
Yep.
You've actually, like Adam Kester said a second ago, like you take something that's a decent vehicle and make it a great vehicle and sell it. There's no debate. You don't sell junk. If you buy something from RJ, it's the best of the best. So with that being said, have you ever, and again, don't say names, but like my cousin CJ, who I pull with, he sells cars. And sometimes when you sell cars, you get shit that's hot. If it's hot, that means it's stolen. Have you ever gotten anything that's hot in pulling or got a part of any transaction?
One time I bought something from CJ and he's like, hey, don't tell Chase of this because it might not be mine. And I was like, okay. So, I just took that chuck forward blower and we've been running it. We just put milled off some names. But no, we've never got anything that was hot, Chase. It's always been legit stuff. So we buy from standard citizens.
So without naming names, what is the craziest, just like the travel story, what is the craziest buyer story? Like someone call you up trying to buy something. Like you probably get these once a day, but like what's something that comes to mind? Like if you had a camera in front of you, like you wouldn't believe this shit moment when someone from just buying and selling pulling vehicles. And if someone's aspiring to get into pulling, call RJ.
Every deal is like that. Like you'll get you'll list a 2-wheel drive for a chassis with a body or for $30,000. And the first thing everyone's wanting, like, well, is it brand new or how old is it? How many runs are on it since it's been new? It's just like kind of mind blowing because it's like, really, guy? Like, I don't have a fucking clue how many runs are on this thing. I don't know how old it is. Well, how old would you think it is? I don't know. 20 years old, 30 years? I don't know. How many times does it want to pull? I don't know. Like the amount of like details somebody wants and when they buy a chassis is kind of scary. And then they want tune-ups and they want setup sheets and how do you weight it or how do you do that? Which I get everyone needs to start somewhere and I get that, but it's just almost like everyone wants to know stuff and they haven't even wrote a check yet. They'll ask you every detail you can even think about, and all they're trying to do is just pump you for information, and they probably don't have 5 nickels to rub together to buy anything.
Yep.
So don't put your phone number on the internet.
Basically anymore, I tell people if you want to, like if they're messaging you, like if I sell something and they just message you, I basically state police are in his driveway. Shit. Sorry, CJ. My bad, buddy. But
I thought you said you got that camper for $6,000 at auction, CJ. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. He just brought this trailer up here. It says full pull real big on the side. I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll buy it. I don't think it's worth more than $5,000, but I'll take it. So, but end of the day though, it's just, I enjoy selling things. It's fun. You get a lot of a lot of dumb questions, but I learn how to deal with them. Most of the time, I know that if somebody doesn't want your phone number, they're not serious. If you post something on Facebook and they're just messaging you back and forth, they're just kicking your tires and they're not really going to buy. But if they say, "Hey, could I have your phone number? I'd like to talk to you," 90% of the time they're serious.
That's fair.
So this is a podcast that's helping grow polling, just like you all do a great job of doing. Are you willing to say your phone number out loud to all these users? We had 40,000 plus last show. Absolutely. For anyone that wants to get into polling, will you give your phone number out?
Yep, 563-580-3304. Call me right now.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
If you want to pull in vehicle.
Hey, if we get cut off, it's because somebody just called me. We're on my phone. So sorry about that.
So between the Simon Trucking shout out where y'all haul anything anywhere, your phone's gonna be blowing up tomorrow with prank calls, and then the people want to get into polling. I think we should put Adam's number out there for people that want to get a motor too, and then just make this full circle.
The only thing I'm afraid of is I'm afraid Chase now has my number because I never gave him my number because I'm always a little nervous. Like, man, this guy's kind of weird, and I don't really know which way he goes, and I was always kind of nervous, so I was kind of scared. Now he has it.
Just because you got beat at Rockwell don't mean you can throw bad jokes out there.
You beat me at a couple places, but, it's all right. I mean, I can't help it that Mike had that thing tuned up when you bought it. You know what I mean? So
that's right. I've heard Rockwell was.
If I bought a proven winner, I mean, it's going to win. Duh.
I've heard Rockwell was a
truck. I think it was the champion when you bought it.
Killer power.
It was.
I mean, that thing even unloads itself. I've never seen a two-wheel drive unload itself. How cool is that?
All right, we got to get into that. RJ, elaborate on that. What do you mean that truck unloads itself?
Well, I was told, and I was not around or I didn't know, but I was told that truck was going to Kansas, I believe, and it was left on some highway. It was just left on the side of the road, and somebody had to tell them to pick it up. But I think the cooler story is I heard a rumor of a Gator getting lost this year, leaving Fort Recovery, and nobody even knew they lost it. Like the door slammed up and shut, and they wouldn't even know if someone wasn't behind. I heard that actually from Rick's Rants. I called him, and he told me about it. So it was a true story.
Darn. So somebody's leaving.
There's three sides. There's three sides to every story, but I think one side of this story is all we need. I think you're on it. So for y'all's podcast, I think that'd be a good segment in the future.
Yeah. Well, if we can get OJ hired, I'm trying to hire him away from you guys. So we'll see.
Attaboy.
He's the best.
Hey, and by the way, record numbers that we said that, but we're 400 plus people watching live. Shout out to RJ and Brandon. You guys, any fans got questions, comments? We got the best of the best of polling here. Brandon's making his national debut. Please comment, and we'll ask away. I really apologize, not for their language, but Adam's language tonight. Adam's dropping a lot of F-bombs. We're going to work on that this next 2 weeks.
All right. My question is for each of you, but about the other person. And what that means is, Brandon, if RJ is pulling up to the starting line, he's last in the class. Who does RJ in the two-wheel drive class want to take the win from more than anyone? He's got to have someone where it means the most, where you're like, hell yeah, not only did I get the win, but so-and-so finished.
No. It's called fuck that guy.
Well, I wasn't going to make it.
I mean, with Chase's attitude about Rockwell, I guess he's going to kind of get a pretty good-sized target on his back.
Okay, that's fair. RJ, my question.
I'm selling the two-wheel drive. I'm actually out of that game. I don't even want any part of it.
Yeah, you can't keep a cup holder in it. So, all right, RJ, who does Brandon want to take the win from?
In the two-wheel drive class, or what class we're talking?
Oh no, we're talking pro stock. I thought that was implied.
Okay, sorry. I figured, but I'd say in that end of the deal, it's probably going to be Masterson, and just because they're just awesome. I mean, Kevin, we've grown up watching him pull, and Don. I mean, they know what's going on. You know, anytime you can beat a Masterson tractor, you're doing something. So they make us better pulling against them. So
the whole class is stacked, man. All of them are good.
Yeah, there's not just one. I mean, we got a lot of friends in pro stock we've met. You know, Rob Russell, the Connies. I mean, everybody, Nortons. I mean, everyone's awesome to pull with. We have a lot of fun in the pro stock class. I mean, if you don't believe us, come over to our pits afterwards.
Brandon, is he right? Is that who you want to take it from?
I'll take it however I can get it.
I mean, you can correct him
Win's a
if there's
win.
someone else.
No, I mean, they're all tough at the end of the day, so it's hard to just take it from anyone saying that you can't beat them, So
Fair enough. I'm trying to get you guys to talk shit, but you just won't go for it. That's what that question
is. They talked it to me. I don't even care about two-wheel drive pulling, so I take back everything I said, RJ. You're actually I want you to win. So
well, just let me drive that too.
I don't
like you driving Noonan.
You can drive anything you want.
You let Nitro Kenny drive it, but you wouldn't let me drive it for screw. Jeez.
All you gotta do is ask.
Oh, well,
my question.
All right, I'll take it at the farm show. I'd like 2 shots at it.
It's got to get in first.
I think we got a fan question here that everybody kind of wants to know.
Rockwell win. We'll put you in there, big dog.
I think we got a fan question.
I'm not a shit talker or fight starter, but whenever RJ started, I just had to take up for myself, Brandon. I'm not that guy.
Brandon's not when I here to get second place.
Go ahead.
Our dad, though, back in the day, he used to tell us flat out, if we get second place, he'd say, you're the first loser. He'd say that to us whenever we did, and that stuck to us. So, I mean, sometimes we might not be as gracious as we should be for second place or something like that. People might feel, well, they're ungrateful for what they just did, but it's just kind of how we were raised. We came there to win, and we'll try anything to do it.
You owe nobody any apology. And pulling needs more Simon Sez pulling teams in it that just really like. We know this. You all are competitive. You're there to win. We're all there, but like you don't. You're not there to. You're friends with all of us behind the scenes, but you're gonna freaking try to kick everybody's teeth in when it's time to win. And pulling needs more of that. Just to be quite frank. So that's why it's good to have you guys on here. And it leads me to a question that I think a lot of people like to know. You guys have competed in arguably the best classes in pulling. The pro stock, highly competitive, 2-wheel drive, mini rod. Which of the 3 would you say is the hardest? I mean, they're all hard, but like, can you kind of just go through each one? And mini rod, I know it was kind of a quick stint. You came in, you won a championship, and you got out. I mean, that's what better way to do it than that? But can you kind of, let's say 2-wheel drive and pro stock, like it's so competitive. Can you kind of draw parallels and like what makes those 2 classes so tough compared to so many others?
I think, I might be biased because I'm a 2-wheel drive guy, but I think 2-wheel drive is hands down one of the hardest classes in pulling, just because everyone has. I think every class has good stuff, but I think that one's just one that stands out, and I think it's tough. I think it's really tough to be consistent in, but I think every class is tough. Mini rods, we got in and out because I was nervous every time that Jordan Jordan drove it all the time, obviously, if you didn't know that, but Jordan drives it, and I was just nervous every time he hooked to the sled, and I'm a numbers guy, so all I'm thinking about is what the thing's worth, and all I can think about is if it ever got wrecked, what it could be worth, and I'm like, you know what?
Or if it gets outlawed, what it's worth?
Or if it gets outlawed,
basically I was like, someday when Bruce figures out how to sit the big guy right next to the front tire, I'm going to drive one. But until Bruce gets that design figured out, he's trying to figure it out. But Bruce he's a great engineer, but he likes that pen and paper. He hasn't really figured out the computer yet, has he? He's been really tough at that. Tyler's the computer guy, so Tyler will probably have to draw it up for Dad,
Yeah, so Bruce does know how to work AutoCAD, but he does prefer crayons in a beer box for sure.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's all.
What about the pro stock? What about the pro stock class, just as a whole?
It's
just how competitive it is.
It's really competitive. Everybody that's there usually has a chance to win, and it's a tough class. You got to run around the edge to be competitive, and just part of the game, I guess.
What
made you all want to get in that class? What made you all want to get in the pro stock class?
I always wanted a smoker, and had a couple opportunities show up on our doorstep, and we took upon it.
No, most people just buy like a Traeger when they want a smoker, but you bought a Pro Stock. That's impressive.
Why would your dad never let you guys have one?
Because he wouldn't even let us park by them because they sit there and warm up and blow soot everywhere and white smoke.
Ether. Steve hates it. A lot of guys don't know Steve hates the smell of ether. Hates it. Steve, that's been with my dad for years. He's still here.
I don't think a lot of people know. Like, if you're sitting over in the pits across from him, and you're in your helmet and you're strapped in, or you're in a 2-wheel drive, when that smoke gets underneath that body, you can't breathe. I mean, it's because you can't breathe because the air is so pure and so good for the environment. It's just so good, but it is tough.
Yeah.
So needless to say, your dad has rollover in his grave a few times, all these Pro Stock purchases, but he's also very proud of what you guys are done. And you guys, we give each other a hard time, but you guys are ambassadors of the sport, and you are badasses at what you do, even in the 2-wheel drive class all the time. No, but seriously, it's funny. I never knew that tidbit about your dad not liking smokers, and it's really funny. I could imagine him bitching but being proud at the same time about what y'all done, that Pro Stock stuff. So kudos to you guys. What is the next class of entry for the Simon family that you're not in yet? Like you've took how many, Adam? They did 6 or 7 different classes at this point. What class is next?
I lost count, dude. These guys, they're in everything. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what you guys are keeping anymore. You guys are constantly getting rid of and getting stuff. What are the tentative plans for next year? Like how many vehicles? And
I think our next move is, since we have a trucking company, is a semi.
Oh,
really?
Well,
that's cool.
So like a pulling semi, you're just going to get another like 125 to make 126 in the fleet, or like a pulling semi.
We're just going to get another.
They're going to pull one out of the
We're
fleet.
just going to get another fleet truck. Good job, Chase.
Y'all like so like semi is like the badass shit that pulls it into every show.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to change that. We're going to make sure they don't always pull at the end. We're going to make mini rods go at the end because, they're smaller.
So is this a done deal, or is this just like a goal? Can you speak of this?
It's just we're working on it. It's a done deal, but we're going to make sure that it's in the works. It'll be ready for the season. So we hope we can get her into the truck show if we can play our cards right. Maybe if they have room for us.
Are you guys building a new Pro Stock as well?
Yeah, we're gonna have a red Pro Stock as well. Yep.
Oh.
Or maybe
black. Hang on. I'm so confused. You're gonna get a red Pro Stock and a diesel and a semi. And this is news for the No Practice podcast. Back office guy, can we get like a background banner for this? This is big news.
A pulling semi, not just a semi. We got to clarify. They already
we're not the fleet's not going up. They're at a pulling semi.
But you had all kinds of semis. Chase is over there like counting his fingers, like they'll have 120, they'll have 121 now. He's all
we're pulling, and you're not retrofitting Sleepless Night to get out there and
that would be sweet.
You never say never, but yeah, we'll it'll definitely be ready for the next season, and it'll be exciting. And we're also going to have the 4-wheel drive going again next year. We had out a little bit this year, and hopefully I can get it down the track again. Last year at Rockwell, I tried to debut it, and didn't work out so well. The drive shaft did not want to stay in it, but we're making.
Was that the very first vehicle your dad pulled, that 4-wheel drive?
No, my dad started. My dad started out with a Cub Cadet back when he was a young kid, and then he went on to pulling the stock pickups, and then that was the OG though. That was the original super mod truck, so to speak, and it's still the original one. We still running the steel body on it with a stock Chevy frame on it, which is pretty cool. It's not component or nothing like that. And DJ Sullivan drove it this year. He had a huge part in putting it together. He ended up. He got fifth with it the first time out with it at Tomo there, or the third time out, and then Farley had 2 good passes with it, top 10s. We're excited about that. We got a new power plant from the ProFab team. We bought one of theirs, and so we're excited to have a little newer motor for that thing. And yeah, Should be awesome.
So take us. So this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to No Practice Podcast outside of Adam talking about how great you guys were as customers. Like, you guys are announcing that you have a semi you're pulling in 2024. Thanks for doing that. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
What else? Can you just go through the list? So you got that. You got the 4-wheel drive. Like, tell everybody what you plan to campaign in 2024.
One light mod, 1 mod, 3 2-wheel drives, and
3 pros.
3 pro stocks.
And one of them being red, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So we had.
It'll have a red hood.
Red hood.
So we had Kevin Campbell and Colin Ross on last. We had Kevin Campbell and Colin Ross from Chaos, and I don't know a lot about that world, but we're learning.
It'll have a black engine in it, Travis.
So what the hell what does that mean? Explain to that, because I don't know what that means. What does black mean?
We paint everything, so like we'll rattle can it black. I don't know. It just means it'll be black. He has this green or red. We'll paint it. We're not going to paint it green or red. It's going to be black.
I understand that. Yeah.
The pump will be sitting on the right hand side.
So it's not going to be so Chaos has their deal, and I don't know enough about it. What kind of application? Like, who helps you with your pro stock package, if you're allowed to say?
The new chassis that's getting built is going to be a Blackburn chassis, and Blackburn's putting it together. Riverside builds all of our engines for our pros. Weimer does our fuel and air. Chad Mayhill does all of our tires, and we just have pretty good success with good people.
Has Blackburn's ever worked on a pro stock before, or is this the first time?
No, they worked on pros before. They built chassis, and he's a very crafty man. I mean, he can fab anything up you need, and he's close to us. That's why we went that route, and just good people, him and Terry and all the guys that work at their shop, and they helped us out over the years on the pros. And yeah.
Josh is good at garage doors too. He works on garage doors on the side.
Yeah, if you need a good garage door guy, Josh Blackburn works on garage doors.
Nice. That's good to know.
I think Josh Blackburn would be a good future guest.
Oh yeah.
RJ and Brandon.
Hey, don't until our new tractor's done, don't get him on this, because he needs to work on that tractor.
Yeah, of course. Well, we'll put the pressure on him, just like we had.
We won't.
We actually had Adam Bauer. He solicited us to put the pressure on Campbell and Colin Ross, because it's just taken way too long for them to get that diesel super done. So that was the main reason we had them on.
We have a ton of fan questions coming up for you guys. Again, this is our biggest show ever. Kudos to you guys. You're humble guys. You don't want to admit it, but they're here to see you, not me, Adam and Tyler. We like to ask all of our guests, pulling, we love it. We're all passionate about it. But I'll ask Brandon, you first, RJ second. If there's one thing you could change about pulling to help grow it and help expand it to what we all think it could be, what would it be? Brandon, you lead, and RJ follow up. Anything you could change?
I'll just change, let's go back to the 330 mark, and you get past 330, we're going to pull you off. This way, when I hook to that sled, if I can run that touchdown, I'm coming back to fight again. Otherwise, 9 times out of 10, when you're coming down through there, you hit the 300-foot mark and you're bonsai'd out of there, you don't know what's going to happen. You're in like a for sure zone. Like, are they going to reset it? Are they going to pull us off? I always like to know what my next challenge is going to be, I guess.
What are your thoughts on we've gone to this trend of floating finish, and I get it. It's easier on equipment, it's easier on parts and all that. And if there was a lot of money being made by pullers, like, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But from a fan standpoint, do you agree, Brandon, that it's a much better show? Like, what's better than watching a pull off from a fan standpoint? To me, you're second the pro stock class, you go 332, nobody touches it. Masterson goes 335, the last hook in the class. What's better than you two come back in a pull off? Am I right or wrong to say that? From a fan standpoint, is that the best show there is in pulling?
Yeah, that's the best show. It don't get no better than that, and that's why I enjoy that. And I just think with the amount of numbers that are in the class, to let the top 6 duke it out at the end is stellar. I mean, a lot of people don't like it. It's hard on the parts and that, but I mean,
So
it was hard on parts the first pass.
Adapt more or less kind of what the Europeans do, because like the Europeans basically it's like just a warm-up run if you get out the end, which they do. They wean out a few guys, but I mean they do.
I always like the one where his top 3 come back.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Even if you go 298, have the top 3 come back. Like
or if more than 3 or something, I don't know. But
we should do a segment one of these days.
Hey, Adam, I don't know much about your Europeans, but I know about that next to your camper, and that's the only thing I know about Europeans. And
it's Europeans.
What?
It's not Europeans, it's Europoopins.
Can we elaborate on this? Can anyone elaborate, or is this?
I don't give a shit. I'll tell everybody because they didn't give a shit either. They left a shit. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it right now. We were at a pool and went over to put water in the fucking motorhome, and there's a pile of shit sitting next to it, and whatever. I almost pulled the shitter valve on him. I was really upset, but
wait, so somebody
really crossed my mind. I'm a little bit better guy than that. There was a tent sitting there. It may have been filled with some stuff, but
So hang on a second.
Somebody pooped next to your camper?
Somebody pooped in your camper or in front of your camper? Was it a dog? There could have been a dog, right?
Dog don't leave toilet paper, motherfucker.
Who do you suspect did this?
And why would they do that? Why would they do that?
Well, they had
I
to
guess
poop. That's why they did it.
Jake. I don't know.
Jeez, they had to poop. That's why they did it. What do you
Hang
mean?
on.
Why would they do it?
You mean to tell me we have some alleged poop bandits on the tractor pulling running around?
Yes. I'm not gonna lie about this. So you know what's bad? Here's how bad it is. If it was intended for me or if a guy had to go, if he's got IBS, I don't know if the guy's got irritable bowel syndrome or whatever. But regardless of the fact, this is where I have to say I feel like shit about it because I didn't put water in the motorhome. Toby put water in the motorhome. He was witness to it, and that's where it kind of like drew the line. Like, if you can't make your ass to a damn porta potty or a bathroom.
It sounds like it sounds like a shitty deal, though. You know?
Do you suspect this was an intentional, malicious poop banditing?
I have no idea, dude. I don't have a fucking Ring camera on my motorhome to see who did it, what time, or what was the reasoning.
Well,
but
if there was
shit left outside of my motorhome, right next to the bay that you put water into.
At this pool, did Tyler bring Evan with him?
Oh, that's a possibility.
No, I don't.
I'm shitting with you, Evan. Sorry.
It's hard telling. It's hard telling.
Like if you were targeted by turds, you must be suspicious of a certain individual.
Yeah.
Hey, back office. Hey, the little Bob thing where the breaking news is Simon's having a Simha in 2024. When you have breaking news, European shit at him in front of Adam's camper.
Oh. Is that who?
Is it Europeans? No, is it Europeans? Is that what I heard?
We don't know. I mean, we're just talking. It was an alleged.
Hey, there was no DNA in the database in the United States, so that's why Adam kind of pointed the finger.
Look at the bottom, Adam.
Breaking news: Adam pooped outside his camper and forgot. I have never, dude. Just so you know, not to be talking about shit or anything like that. I'm a very homely person. I don't like traveling out, okay, in the wild. I stay around home.
So,
and that's a shitty story.
These podcasts are so fun. It's those moments where you don't know how you got there. All I remember is asking Brandon what he would change about pulling, and it was pull-offs, and then it turned into you putting accusations of people shit in front of your camper. Like, that's what's great about this podcast. I don't even remember how we got there.
Are we going to pull off like the Europeans?
You need to go back to that one comment of Paul Romack.
What is it with you guys in porta potties?
Yeah.
All right, back to where we were, pull-offs. But
Enough
at
of
the Polar Championship. It was me and Donnie Sullivan and Jordan. I think Brad was with. I think so.
Was he?
No, I don't think Brad was.
It was Jordan.
Tell us your poop story.
And Jamie Austin. so there's
starts laughing when Jamie Austin.
There was like 20 of us, and so I asked Jamie if he thought he could get that forklift to run, and he thought he could, and I didn't doubt him. So I said, if you think you can get that forklift to run, go bring that porta shitter over here. And next thing you know, he comes across the rock, and the porta shitter's full from Friday night, and if you would have lit a match off the exhaust pipe, that thing would have blew up. It was so rank. And the next thing you know, then the real turd bandits came and the patrol was there.
Oh.
You can't do that, and it was bad news.
Well, I mean,
It was
to be
funny.
fair, you probably shouldn't be driving a forklift around with a porta-john in the air. Is that correct? I mean,
But he was sober. He wasn't drinking. He quit drinking.
Yeah, he wasn't drinking that
so
night.
to
He
be
was
fair,
sober.
Jamie quit drinking years ago. You guys, he only drinks Aquafina or Dasani water. That's all he drinks.
he prefers something a little bit more non-alcoholic. So, RJ, are you telling me that we can drive forklifts and pick up porta-johns at the Farley 300 Raceway there?
If you can get him to run.
Okay, that's a fair deal. Lock it in.
Hey, guess what? I have some sad news for you three in 2024. The mini rods will not be coming to Farley.
Boo! Are you serious?
Well, your tractors are fucking illegal anyway, so let's get over yourself.
Tyler, you're gonna be at home. Tyler, you're gonna be at home watching anyway.
I'm gonna what?
Are you gonna turn that pool into a state level event or what? What the fuck?
So basically,
you're gonna be at home watching our live stream, Tyler.
So basically, what we're getting at is, no, Tyler can still come. I think he might have more fun actually without his tractor there. I mean, let's be honest. I mean,
I'm sorry, Tyler. I'm sorry. I'll send the waiver.
But here's the deal: is at the end of the day, is you guys have got a stout schedule for 24, and I want to give you a little break before the Hutch and Toma deal. But honestly, we just we can't afford that extra sled. It's just times are tight with this new semi and stuff.
How much is it?
Hey, if you got to ask, you can't afford it.
No. Well, maybe I can get it paid for. How much is the sled?
Well, Farley was her favorite pull. Well, geez, just come on down.
You can't come anyway, Tyler. Tyler, you can't come anyway. Tyler, I got a plan B. Everyone loves a good plan B. You can come drive our two-wheel drive there against RJ. You can drive the two-wheel drive against RJ there.
Well, it's going to be a select. I'm going to have the Grand National Select two-wheel drive, so I'm not sure that you'll be invited. Sorry, Chase.
Ooh.
We don't want beer cans falling out. We're a family. Remember, this is a family show, Chase. Remember you started that out telling us how family it was? You got beer cans falling out. How rude.
Yeah, think of the children, Chase, damn it.
Everybody hates a ass whoop in their hometown. I wouldn't want to come either.
Well, okay, RJ, it might bring up you guys are putting on another poll again this year without the mini rods. Boo. That kind of sucks because it was one of our favorites.
Times could change quick. I mean, I don't know if we can get. I'm looking for a sponsor. If we can, I think we're on this podcast. Isn't this podcast sponsored by Full Pull Bets? Full Pull. I think we could get Full Pull if we can get them the sponsor.
If you need somebody.
If we can get Full
No Practice Podcast. The No Practice Podcast will sponsor.
I'm thinking we can get
the No Press
sponsor it.
How much do you need?
I'm sorry.
I'm just looking at it. I'm just thinking if Full Pull could throw in a little bit, and not be so frugal with their money. It seems like I've been playing all year and I ain't win a buck. I'm just terrible.
Well, you got to be better, RJ. You got to be better. Hey, RJ, even Evan has won money on Full Pull. So you mean to tell me Evan can predict pulls better than you can?
Actually, Evan's pretty smart, so yeah, probably.
Yeah, well, he has.
I always pick Adam. I always pick Adam, and Adam's always afraid to turn his mag up because he's like, "Well, I don't want to hurt my motor because I don't have another one." It's like, Jesus Christ, Adam, you got an own engine shop. Let's crank the mag. Like, come on.
RJ, you got to quit picking yourself.
Too busy working on everybody else's shit.
Touche.
I think if that interrupting chart gets over 5, I think Chase is sponsoring one class. I don't know which one it is, but
well, we're at 7.
He's already got marked their times.
No, but if it takes the No Practice podcast, we have sponsors. Believe it or not, we have sponsors, not MBR engines, because you are exclusive to that. But we have sponsors trying to sponsor this. We're trying to be strategic about what we want to do. But No Practice podcast will sponsor the mini ride class at Farley if you have it there. And you can make Tyler an invitation only where he just makes an exhibition at the end because he's illegal to run in the regular class.
Well, if this is going to be NTPA, I'm not sure they'll allow me. I'm in email negotiations with the head honchos trying to get the clear and the clear-cut deciphering as far as what that rule means. So,
hey, look, I don't know why, though, honestly, Tyler. Do you still own a welder or did you sell your welder?
Well, I do own a welder, yeah.
So why not just build something new and just show them that you could do it with the old style?
So that's the thing. I don't have a problem with that. I will, but I want a clear, concise vision of what this rule means because the interpretation I got back is pretty surprising to me of what that new rule means because there's a lot of...
Could you fill us in on what it is? I mean, is it like, I'm all about... I'd like to know because you never know. Tomorrow I could have, Chase Richardson could call me and be like, you know what, I'm over pulling and it's not fun for me no more because my mechanic CJ isn't going to pull and I don't even know how to turn a wrench. He does all the work. And then he could want me to buy him out. And I just want to know, like, are his tractors even legal? I mean, can you have your brakes next to the bell housing? I've heard you can.
No.
You can.
You can't.
Oh, my God.
Chase, did you know that?
Are your brake pedals next to your bell housing? Chase, are
everybody in the class is. That new one Adam spilled out money on is next to bell housing.
So yeah,
Adam, your brake pedals are next to your bell housing?
Not on 2 of them.
Well, I'm just saying the rule change I got from actually, I got it set from Mr.
While you're talking about this, I just want to vent for one little short second. This is the same shit that goes on every time. We get a rash decision on a rule, and then there is nothing thorough about it.
But
hold on a second. That black tractor sitting back there in in your shop apparently has a legal roll cage on it because the brake rotors are mounted or the brake calipers are mounted to it. Like,
Brandon, is that true?
No, I'm just saying, how in the fuck have we got
every tractor that he's built? That's fucking.
I'm just saying. Okay, here's my thing. You guys want to create rules? I'm perfectly fine with the rules. If you guys want to limit us to on our tire, why don't you just make us run a tire that's 21 year model or newer? If you want to make rules, make them make sense. If you want us to be just like a pro stock where the motor plate has to be X far away from the rear end, then that's what it is. If don't let these guys that have been building shit for a long time all of a sudden come up with these rules and everybody in the fucking class has to change it. Plain and simple.
Hey, I just don't know what I'm going to do with them 4 sets of Pioneers we got. We might have to build another mini.
Yeah, you might have to, but just make sure you get the
tires at this point.
Make sure you get the black market interpretation of the new rule so that you build it accordingly.
Hey, did you hand when you sent that email, did you put in there like a PayPal number with like some money? I think that's why maybe that's why your email, your interpretation of the rule is changed from Adam's or Chase's.
Okay. Well, I need to get on your guys' level. Brandon, how did you get your illegal calipers cleared?
After Brad showed them and everybody had the same thing that I had, I guess it was clear to go.
Damn it. So if I had the same thing everybody else had, then I'd be okay.
No, here's what it's called.
I
I
got to ask one question.
It's a plain simple deal. New sheriff in town. They're going to live by my rules. You know what? I get it.
I want
you
to
want to make
Tyler.
I get it.
There.
Yeah.
Once you guys do something,
Tyler, I want to ask you one.
Run more pullers away from the pulling organization.
Hey, so Tyler, I want to ask you one question.
All right.
So I don't know the measurement on, say, your roll cage. Your roll cage has moved ahead, but would you say it's 8 inches further forward than, say, a new modern? Would you say if you move that roll cage back 8 inches to the where Adams and Chase's, do you think it'd make a difference for your chassis?
Define make a difference.
Do you think you'd still win a belt buckle or win Farley, Iowa with your roll cage move back, say 8 inches from where it currently is and your seat to say where the modern cage is right now? Which I'm not saying you have to do. I'm just asking your personal opinion.
No, yeah, I would think it's possible. I think I would have to set it up differently. What sucks about doing that is I feel like
I'm not telling you to do it. I just was asking if you really thought that you'd have a big advantage.
It sucks to me that I feel like our tractors look a little bit different than other people's, and I kind of like that factor of it. And we're stupid enough to build them ourselves, and I think that makes them unique. And the fact that we feel like we're being a little bit picked on just kind of blows. And I was bummed to see the new rule, not to beat a dead horse, but I had some things instantly turning in my mind on how to revamp things around that, whether that meant tweaking what I've got or starting from scratch. And so before I started on it, I wanted some clarification onto the interpretation on what that rule meant. And when I got that interpretation, I was blown away because there was things mentioned that were not mentioned in the new rule in any way, shape, or form. And
because that's how professional they are.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't need to rant about that. I probably could for an hour. So
I think my deal is it just seems like we spend too much time in polling, especially lately, just looking at what could be, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, what does it matter where the brake calipers are? The calipers are on a tractor, for instance. Like, what does it really matter? Like, polling's supposed to be unique. Like, if you're dumb enough to sit with your ball sacks over top of your bell housing, no offense, but or whatever, you're not quite that far ahead. But if you want to do that, more power to you. I'm not going to drive your tractor. I mean, I'll steer it around the pits, but
and that's fair. I think personally what should be outlawed is the big Engler roll cages on a 4-engine tractor, because we've seen two people back to back break their damn arms, but those are just fine. Meanwhile, we're perfectly fine and we're getting picked on. What about those giant roll cages with the huge swoop outside of them so your arms can get flailed?
What about if you just grow up and fill it? Then you're fine. That's what I was
going to say. You know why they have those big roll cages, right? To get your head in it.
That's right.
Hey, I got a roll cage that got some farmer up in Michigan. I think it's Beaver Ridge Farms. He built it for me, or Beaver something.
I've heard of him, yeah.
And he built the chassis for it, and I'm telling you what, I fill up every square inch of that roll cage.
Yeah, that's a nice snug cage, isn't it?
Yeah. But I don't feel it's right what they're doing with the rules, changing them all the time. I guess I see Tyler rolled over at Nashville this year, and I see clearly he was fine. His legs were clearly, one thing I'll say about Tyler, like he can go up and buy a cheap set of headers. They spend twice the amount of say a Dan Olson on stainless steel, really nice headers. Their block shields thicker, and I don't understand why all of a sudden now it's illegal. Is it illegal because it just doesn't work in their format, or why? Why does the rules always got to change? Now you can't. I seen the email. I mean, I seen the email that Tyler got. His dad sent it to me, and I just don't feel it's right. Now all of a sudden they're saying you can't even have your feet next to the bell housing. Well, I know for a fact that both Adam's new tractor and Chase's two mini rods feet are next to the bell housing. I mean, when's this going to stop of constantly just?
Okay.
I mean,
let me go.
Hang on. Give me another fucking tally on that. Brandon, the tally's for you.
No, you did good. So, you did it right. You did it right. You said hang on.
No, I know. Every tally except one of them I've asked for. So, but look, rules are like like taxes. It's like the IRS. The rules make it like the IRS. Everyone.
We know you're a part of it, okay? We know you're part of the.
No. I'm not a part of no rule committee, but I'm just keeping it real with you. I have no opinion either way. Like, there's rules I hate too, just like you guys hate. But
that'll get your butt in trouble if you say something wrong. Let's face it, the fucking rules.
What would I get in trouble, Adam? What would I get in trouble for? What would I get in trouble for? Who am I answering to? Who am I answering to? I'm pretty sure I don't answer to fucking nobody.
I think.
You think I get?
Just let Chase speak his thoughts here for a minute.
If I was worried about that, if I was worried about that, you think I'd be on this podcast of you jackasses? Like, if I was worried about that perception?
Now we're a jackass.
I mean, I'm just no. You guys are guests. These two are jackasses. Like, if I was worried about perception, I'm just keeping it real. Like, rules are like taxes. Nobody likes them. Somebody's got to draw the line. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. And Tyler and Bruce, these rules are not for Tyler and Bruce. And I said this on our first episode.
For anybody, dude.
Tyler and Bruce, like, if it was like stopped at them and said they were grandfathered in, nobody else could do this, I don't think there would be a debate. Now, the problem with that is it's a competitive advantage for someone else. And that's a whole other argument. But these rules are for people that decide they want to jump in and I want to do what those guys do. And we've already talked about this a number of times.
Right.
Like,
so we've gotten too
What?
intense. We're beating this dead horse that we have already. We're at an hour and 46 minutes. Do we want to just get into our next bit before we go over our 2-hour limit?
Hey, what about the rules?
As far as the rules go, the last thing I'm going to say, rules, they didn't even tell us how. Do you think they fucking know anything about safety on our tractors? They can't even nail a show down to 350, 330, 300. You're trying to tell me that they know the windows of a rule? Fuck, they don't know anything.
Adam, you're going to hurt someone's feelings. You'd better be careful with that kind of stuff.
Hey,
He's gonna hurt my perception. The same guy that has beer cans flying out of his two-wheel drive when he wins pulls. Yeah, I'm really worried about that.
I just want to know whatever happened about like grandfathering something in. It's already built. It's already running. It's already safe. Just grandfathered in. From here on out, no more can be made like that. You got two of the elite tractors in the
I'm down with that.
That's the way it should be. It should be moved forward. I mean, if Tyler wants a new tractor, guess what? You got to cut that one up and still build your new one. You can build it that same way, but that one's got to get cut up. You can't sell it, and that's what should be. I told Bruce that last week on the phone, and I'll be honest, it's part of the reason why I cut mini rods, because I'm tired of this bullshit. Last year we had to deal with the roll cage. Now we're dealing with that. I'm just kind of tired of it. I think it's ridiculous that it keeps changing every year, and I don't think it's right. I mean, pardon my French, but I just don't.
I appreciate that.
That's why we have this show for. That's what we have this show for, to let out dirty laundry and let everyone tell their thoughts, even when Adam gets mad at me.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it more this weekend. But
I think that the whole idea of this is what people don't understand is that we don't show up every weekend just happy to be there. There's a lot of shit that bothers us, and like people on the outside never get to see that because the exposure isn't there. There are so many things that bother us week in, when out. We could have a 5-hour show every fucking day on all the shit that pisses us off. I just think it's a little ridiculous right now.
Adam, I think you need a beer. Your blood pressure's you're getting red in the face. Your blood pressure's getting high. Like you need a beer.
I know it. Gets up there, boy. Pisses me off, man.
You guys know what else we need? We need a hot next segment that we call 2 Truths and 1 Lie.
Yeah.
Are you guys familiar with this?
Yeah, we heard.
This is the No Practice Podcast. 2 truths and 1 lie.
All right, so it's 2 truths and 1 lie. So RJ and Brandon are each going to make 3 statements, and the 3 of us have to identify which one is the lie. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Give it to us.
I used to race a late model race car back in the day. And then the Dodge, the Simon Sez Dodge, is actually older than I am. And then Brandon always offers me to drive a pro stock every night we go pulling.
Oh, Jesus. That's clearly the lie, RJ. Come on. You could have tried harder than that. In my mind, the third one's the lie. Gentlemen, what do you think?
Third one's a lie.
Adam, I'm going to say that Simon Sez Dodge is not older than RJ.
Oh. Well, RJ, what is it?
The lie is, Brandon never offers for me to drive a pro stock like ever.
I don't think he asked though.
That's fair then.
Because I know the answer.
So it's kind of a misleading question then, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brandon, give it to us.
I feed cattle every day, own a race car, smoke weed daily. Hit me.
Man, I hope you own a race car.
That's the truth. I do believe.
I'm going to say feed cattle every day. You have someone else do that, right?
Wrong.
I'm gonna go with own a race car. I don't think you own a race car.
I'm going to say he doesn't smoke weed unless he grills vegetable on his Traeger or something. I don't know.
That'd be pretty rad.
Adam's right.
Man, that was the easiest round of that ever, boys.
Sorry. We made it fast and easy. We want to get back to talking about all these fucking mini rods, roll cage bullshit, and fucking dumb bull crap, son of a bitch.
Hey, we got
actually.
We've missed this the local establishment spotlight this week.
Yeah. There's no good places in town. I don't think you'd want to call anywhere, would you?
Is Norm visiting any of the places?
No, I think he's out of town, but I'm pretty sure. I don't know who. Do you want? Would you like to call Dirty Ernie's? I think you ever heard of Dirty Ernie's, Tyler? Oh, he's already got on speed dial. Mandy's probably working.
Is this in Farley, Iowa, RJ?
Oh yeah, this is the local happening spot, Dirty Ernie's.
Hi, this is Dirty Ernie's in Farley, Iowa. Is that correct? Is local legend Norm in the establishment at the moment?
Is who?
Norm, Brian Daly. Is he in there at the moment?
Brian Daly?
Yeah. Is he there? Because he might be. Oh, they put me on hold. Norm, legend in the pulling community, is known for bellying up to the bar at Dirty Ernie's, and Norm helps the Simons religiously empty their cooler. Oh.
There's no Brian Daly here.
No? Okay. No problem.
Son of a...
Is Dirty Ernie there? Is Dirty Ernie there?
Are you there? Yeah. So we're actually doing a local establishment spotlight on a podcast right now, and we've got Brandon and RJ Simon on from Farley, Iowa. Are you familiar with them?
Yeah.
Well, can you tell us about Dirty Ernie's and what it has to offer to the local community and what sets it apart as a pillar and a staple in the community? Yeah, I'm here. Are you there?
Ask for Dirty Ernie. Tell me you want to talk to Dirty Ernie.
Yeah, is Dirty Ernie himself there?
Dougie.
Yeah.
Magoo.
Yeah,
Magoo. Magoo.
All right, well, hang on. It appears as if we got hung up on by the sounds of it, but the ticker's still rolling. We might be live.
Yeah, ask for Mandy. Where's Mandy at?
Oh, we got hung up on. RJ, do you
this place is in RJ, give us some background on Dirty Ernie's.
Yeah, tell us all about Dirty
Ernie's. Looks like coming to the Farley 300.
Well, Dirty Ernie's is the local establishment where you can go there and have just a blast. I'm pretty sure the Slaws own about 4 bar stools there. Between Tyler and Bruce, they come early every year, usually to the Farley poll. This year they'll just be able to bring their toter. They don't even have to bring anything. But
yeah, that's nice. Thank you.
Okay, but scooters are banned in town, so can't ride scooters. Curbs are too deep.
Curbs are too deep.
They're deep. We get a lot of snow and water running down the side of them. So.
I would assume beers are illegal as well.
Beers are totally legal. Yes.
Wow, that's surprising. Well, give it till next year. You never know.
We'll see if we can get.
All your beer riders are out.
Like he's going to sponsor this deal. So
I digress. Tell us about Dirty Ernie, seeing how the worker there didn't want to.
Oh, it's a great place. It's a good time. A lot of fun happens there, and yeah, it's a great establishment. We have a lot of fun there, and I know You know more about it than I do, Tyler. You're hanging out there more than me.
And is it true that in his younger years, Brandon got into a fight there?
I don't know. There might have been a few of them there.
I mean, I got into a fight once there, but
well, tell us about your boys' favorite fight.
Oh, we can't get into that on this.
Come on, it's the local establishment spotlight. Favorite fight.
There's a few illegal things that happen. I mean, I'm going to play the Adam card here and just plead the fifth.
Yeah, play the Adam card.
I'm going to play the Chase card. There's 3 sides to every story.
All right, we don't get to have a favorite fight. We got hung up on our local.
These are the best guests of all time.
All right.
Unfortunately, we have those every now and then where they just don't want to talk to us. It sounded pretty busy though, even on a Wednesday.
Yeah, and I feel like that's the problem.
She's probably making pizzas and serving drinks and everything. And the last thing she want to do is talk to a bunch of fuckers like us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
She probably knew Chase was going to get into his sponsorship. Oh, there's 47,000 people watching this podcast, and your place is gonna get just bombarded with people, and you need to sponsor us and give us $1.4 million. And
that's why we got the interruption chart that cuts that off.
Yeah, that was definitely gonna happen. I would have bet you some large amount of sums that would have happened if we shoot us on the phone. You want to bet me?
Well, not anymore.
The good news is you're going to see Tyler Slaw's debut in a two-wheel drive there in 2024. Because you cut the main rods out.
You'll be so nervous. You'll be fucking. Yeah, I bet we had Uncle Dave will drive the two-wheel drive there probably.
Well, anybody can drive it.
Gentlemen, 3-minute warning.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure Nitro Kenny couldn't drive it.
Chase, tell us about what
3-minute or take us. Yeah. So we got to get a couple of questions for RJ and Brandon. And again, this is our biggest show ever, and people are still watching. We have a request to keep this show going 2 hours longer. I don't know if Adam's blood pressure can take that, but RJ and Brandon, did you?
Hey, we got a little technical difficulties, but hey, we got a new number here, Tyler. We'd like you to call.
Do you really?
We'd like you to call the owner. He would like us to call him.
Okay.
Personally.
Hey, RJ.
Breaking news fans. We're going to go over our 2-hour limit for these guys right here because it's the biggest show of all time.
We don't want to release the hot Dirty Ernie's head honcho phone number live on the air. Text me the number.
While you talk about RJ, Brandon, did y'all apply any vehicles to the farm show? How many vehicles did you apply?
Yeah, we did. We applied 3, 4, 5, 7 vehicles to the farm show. I had to think about it.
7 vehicles.
3 two-wheel drives, 3 pro stocks, and 1 mod.
Wow. So we all know how hard it is to get tickets to the farm show. All of you guys listening, there's ways to get free tickets to the farm machinery show. Go to Full Pull. Make your predictions on who will get in the 2-wheel drive class. RJ will get in with at least one of them. We all know that. Super stock class, these guys are not in that class. 4-wheel drive. I hope RJ's truck has got applied to that. Make your predictions, win 2 free tickets, and then a super farm. Luckily, for RJ's sake, there are no super farms, but super farm is a big class in pulling, and it's highly competitive. Make your predictions are free to play. 2 free tickets to a week-long show at the Farm Machinery Show. Make sure you get on there. Tyler, dial them up.
Well, I don't have the number I was supposed to have received, so.
I send it on Snapchat.
I don't have Snapchat notifications turned on.
I don't have any notifications turned on. That's too funny. So this is the.
And we have a ton of questions for RJ and Brandon too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, is this Dirty Ernie himself?
This is Dirty Ernie himself.
Well, it's much quieter where you're at, sir. You must not be at the local establishment. Is that correct?
I just made her home. Made her home, buddy.
Just made her home? All right. Well, we've got you live on the No Practice podcast with RJ and Brandon Simon, and Dirty Ernie's was our feature local establishment spotlight of the evening. And unfortunately, there was so much hustle and bustle in the background, we hardly got given the time of day after she looked for Mr. Norm Brian Daly there, who unfortunately wasn't there. Tell us about Dirty Ernie's and what sets it apart in the local community there in Farley, Iowa.
Oh, Dirty Ernie's a pretty popular place at Farley, Iowa. Live music on weekends. We got a crazy night Thursday night, swing night. Kind of the center of Farley, I guess. I don't know what more to tell you.
I couldn't agree more. I've been to Farley myself several times. I personally am from Michigan, and I can't step foot in Farley without going to Dirty Ernie's at least once per day, possibly twice.
That's what I hear from everybody.
Absolutely. Do you have any? You're familiar with Brandon and RJ Simon, yes?
Oh, yeah. I worked for their dad for a while. Roger Simon's a great guy to work for. I loved working for the Simons, and they're great people.
Well, how about that? What a small world. Well, you personally must have a unique story of either RJ or Brandon to bring to the air for us to share with us.
I don't know if I can kiss and tell.
Yeah, well, I feel like you can.
We better save that for another time.
I feel like this is the only time.
We ain't live.
All right, give us a
We
PG
got 40,000 people is going to hear this. You got 40,000 people. This is big for Dirty Ernie's.
Great guys all the way around. They're great guys to work for, and they were brought up by a good family, Roger and Darlene, and they're just great people. They do anything for anybody.
No question there, but Brandon said you had some stories about him getting into a fight there. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, there's been a few here and there. I don't even remember anymore. It's been so long.
Oh man, you really won't kiss and tell, will you?
No, I don't do that.
Okay.
Put that on the side sometime when we ain't live.
What about the one
a good story about Norm?
Yeah, well, tell us a good Norm story, because I've personally been in there when Norm's been in there, and it is legitimately like Cheers, because he walks in and everybody at the bar buys him a beer.
Norm,
and they buy him a beer.
Everybody usually hollers Norm when he walks in. It's just like being a Cheers.
That guy's got 8 beers lined up in front of him, glass bottles, and he pops the tops.
He's our local banker. We got to take care of Norm.
Absolutely. What's your best Norm story then? Can you throw him under the bus?
I can't really throw him under the bus either. He's my banker.
Doggone it, you don't kiss and tell. Well, I gotta say thank you for giving us your time, and your workers there are working real hard and diligent not to waste time with riffraff over the phone, I must say. So you've got them trained well.
Sometime I'll have a cold one ready for you.
Absolutely, I'll be doing that. Thank you, sir.
Sounds good. You have a good night.
Thanks, you too. Bye. All right, well, we got the Dirty Ernie shout out in, even though he wouldn't kiss and tell us any fight stories about you two.
That's good. Yeah, we don't need the cops coming and finding us.
Well, 2 hours and 2 minutes, boys. What do you think, Chase? Did you cover everything?
I think. So it's wild. The last 30 minutes, I asked Brandon, "What would you change about pulling?" But RJ never answered it, and then we went on a wild journey from shitting in front of people's campers to Dirty Ernie's since then. So RJ, one thing in pulling you would change to grow the sport. Brandon gave his pull-offs 330. What would you change?
I would charge every puller a pit pass, and then I'd put it back into the purse. I would change pulling.
Explain that more.
Pulling, so
people don't know.
So like if you go racing, so we own a racetrack, obviously. So racing, everyone buys a pit pass, and there's also a fee to hook. There's a hook fee. One thing about it, since I've been pulling and now being a promoter, you realize is that there's no back gate. So basically, every puller that comes and enters gets 4 to 6 passes for free. Well, then we all bitch, and when I say we, I'm saying me. We bitch that there's no money and pulling only pays X, Y, Z, and it's not enough. Well, I'm telling you, from a promoter side, there's not enough money to be had. It isn't like there's people taking it and stuffing it in their pockets and everything. So I think it needs to come back to us as pullers. Like, we don't always need to get the free ride, and we should be charged a pit pass for every person we bring, and then that should be put back into the purse. So then instead of pulling for $2,000, we might be able to pull for $4,000 or whatever the number might be.
We can't mention. We can't mention that without saying the Pullers Championship did a great job of doing that, of doing exactly what you're saying. They charged every single person, driver included, to get into the event and put 100%.
I wonder where they got that from. I wonder.
Was that your idea?
If anybody doesn't know, RJ does a really good job promoting his own event. So RJ,
the best.
You kind of mentioned that you're just going to do like a Grand National Select for the 2-wheel drives, maybe some other classes if the numbers are big. In your mind as a show promoter, you want to get people in there, but you also want to get them out at a decent time. And you guys have the milestone event that you'd like to have a band at, maybe some drinks and whatnot. So in your mind, how would you kind of set up the pull? Obviously, you charge the pullers entry fee for everybody that comes with them, but kind of like laying out the pull, what do you see in an event that maybe needs to change to make it better for the fan?
I just think you got to have a show that's running fast. Like if you've ever been to my event, like whether it's been PPL or Lucas Oil, or NTPA, I'm standing on the starting line, like hounding whoever's at that starting line. Like I'm not being friendly. I'm pointing at my wrist. I'm not happy if Chase is like dragging his feet like he does sometimes. Like I'm not thrilled about that.
Finishes his beer before he takes
like
off.
the one time when he sandbagged his gear, we put it in a big cog, thought that Noonan could handle it, and then he realized he just had a short stroke and didn't have a big stroke and couldn't hack it. I mean, that ain't gonna work at Farley. I mean, we all know that. Come on, Chase. That was funny. You can at least smile, for fuck's sake.
He doesn't want to interrupt.
I don't disagree with it.
But RJ, wouldn't you like to?
I don't disagree with anything you said.
At a decent time, at 8 or 9 o'clock. So
yeah.
For the people that want to stay, people that want to stay late, hey, I'm going to provide you entertainment here in the Milestone Center with the band and drinks and whatnot. But let's get the kids. Yeah. Let's get the show over with early so the kids can get home. They get to see the full show. They're not waiting all night to watch their class, and it's too late. They got to go home.
And the only reason I say that is, like, when I say about the pit passes, and yeah, I agree with you, Adam, about getting home. But my thing is that pulling, I'd love to see it gain more. I'd like to see the purse get raised up. But me as a promoter, like,
it's not there.
I don't have it. Like it's not like I put on a pull and like you put a bunch of money in your pocket and it's some great thing. I mean, it's a wash when it comes to the end of it. Like you're actually sitting there on pins and needles as a promoter, wondering how much am I going to lose? Like honestly, like that's what it boils down to. And you're putting on a Grand National show with 6 classes or better. Like it's scary, for us. And the biggest thing is I just wish that. And the only way I see that we as pullers could ever, it's either going to be that, either the pullers pay something or we find some great corporate sponsors. But then again, I see the other side of it too. I had a great guy stop today, and I think he was right with Steve Yagi. He just stopped in today and said hi to us. I think it was cool to hear him say, like dirt track racing, like late models, big money wrecked it too. So I don't know. There's 2 sides to every bit too. I don't know if we ended up.
No, there's 3. There's 3 sides. There's 3 sides. 3 sides.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah, there's 3 sides to every story for Chase. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know if it'd be good if we were all pulling for 50,000 every night. If it'd be a good thing either, But it sure be cool.
It's really.
I mean, how do you feel about it, Chase? Do you feel about that? No, you're right. I'm used to you interrupting. I've been watching your podcast since you started. I mean, you're just. I mean, if I had one person text me, I had 15. Don't let Chase interrupt you. Tell him to cough. I was like, oh, Jesus.
That's where the tally right there, Charlie. That's where the tally. Just that shout out right there. Can we add one to the board?
I can't sacrifice.
RJ.
I mean, how do you feel?
RJ, that's why. And honestly, I've never even thought about this, like you said, and I've been sitting here thinking about it the whole time. Obviously, I didn't interrupt because my brain was turning, which is not hard to turn. There's not much there to turn. But, I coached college basketball for 10 years and was lucky enough to coach in the NCAA tournament a number of times and with like big crowds. But what's interesting about that, and this is what brings me back to what your point is, when you get the NCAA tournament to one of those games, the crowd is as big at one of those games as it is at a big tractor pull. Like it's hard to get a ticket into. And as a coach, when you're coaching a team, you'd think, if Tyler and Adam and Adam's sister and brother-in-law came to these events with me when we played in an NCAA tournament, clearly the biggest moneymaker in sports outside of Super Bowl, you can't get anybody tickets. Like you can't.
No.
And it's Louisville.
The point.
It's not rocket science.
You can't get your star player family tickets. I'm sure you can't. They have to.
They're allowed 4. Everyone's allowed 4 tickets, and there's 15 players, 4 tickets, and then there's 6 coaches, 4 tickets.
They had to pay for them though, right?
Yep. No, you get 4 comp. You got 4 comp, but think about so you get 18,000 people in there with call it 25 people giving them 4 tickets each. That's not that many people, right? So in the grand scheme of things, a tractor pull, yeah, I mean, it's a hell of a point because, like Adam just said, the farm show, and I think one of these future podcasts will talk about how the farm show is just way smarter than everybody else in Poland. They built a huge event, but they also have a we do show our way policy, which we ain't giving you tickets, you buy your tickets type deal, which is goes back to what you said, RJ. I think you were onto something there with that, and if you want to be the highest level of Poland, it should not be easy to get in that place, and you're exactly right.
I'm just saying, some events, I mean, I've even been, I'm not going to say I haven't taken advantage of it. They say you're only supposed to get 4 per vehicle. Well, look at me, we roll into Bowling Green with 10 vehicles last year. Do you know the people knocking on our doors? We had friends, we didn't even know their names. They're like, hey, you remember? Oh yeah, that was you fucker. I think, yeah, I mean,
that was me.
No offense, but it's just and the other side of it, it's you know what? I would rather see us all had to pay for them, including myself, and then said, hey, instead of us pulling for $1,200, just say, I mean, all of a sudden they hand us a check for $12,000. That'd be a lot cooler. Which you mini rod fucks got to pull for $10,000, which I hope you guys all choke on it. But
2 years in a row, baby. 2 years in a row.
Three, dude. Three. Yeah, Bobcat won it twice, and now Brian won it once.
Was it really 3?
I'm pretty sure
it's 3 in a row. Yeah.
That just goes to show why the mini rod class is the best class in pulling.
It's the lightest weight. That's why the fucking wheel always goes to that.
Yeah, that wheel was rigged, and I'm pretty sure they said that.
So
I think
breaking news, bold allegation against blue shirts.
Adam built that wheel on his wood mill. He's got a wood mill at the shop there.
Speaking of this, now I think we've all talked about this a little bit. Just because we're generous people, anyways. But who would think that if you do win it, maybe your class is removed for the next time?
I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I think that's the right thing to do. But I mean,
or just make it where every class is for $10,000 all the time. That's
honestly
at some point.
Not to be selfish.
That's exactly what I'm just saying. It's not all about money. If you were pulling, if we were sitting here pulling we're just doing it for the money, we'd all be lying. I mean, but it'd sure be nice to leave the event and be well, at least we covered our fuel and our methanol for the weekend and maybe our help or something, versus leaving and being man, that just cost me $20,000.
Right. Well, okay. Speaking of that, RJ, sure. I mean, I think we talked about this a little bit over the phone a little bit, but you've made some pretty good points saying
a little bit. Come on, Adam. We talk about it all the time. Let's not lie to
you. You look at this from a standpoint of, let's say there's a one-day hook somewhere in Ohio for you guys, and you can go there, or you can go to a Badger State show and make the exact same style event.
I'll let Brandon answer it, but I think that if on a grand national level, it's complete bullshit that you should ever have to pull a one-day hook, or any kind of Champions Tour, any kind of big time level. If you got to drive all
the highest level pulling should never be one-day
level pulling, whatever. Yeah, I'm not trying to single nobody out because I love both sides, but I'm just saying one-day hooks is miserable. I mean, if we're taking off and driving across the country, I mean, it's just. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I had a one-day hook in Farley, Iowa, if I had a Saturday night only, I would bet you a large sum of money that we would make more money on that one night than we would have in 2 nights.
Count me in. I'll be there.
Yeah.
You gotta get a chassis that works.
Yeah, your chassis is fucking illegal. Get lost, dude.
No, well, not if you go with PPL, dude. They're cool.
No, I know. I love PPL. I ain't got no problems, no beefs with them. The only pull I miss is Evansville, so that's badass. I love it.
The good news is that there was a time, actually our last episode, we were trying to get to 300 viewers, and we said we're going to end this show, but under 2 hours. We're over 2 hours, and we're plus 300 viewers still. So
longest podcast in the history of the podcast.
I mean, my thing is though.
All good things coming to an end.
Yeah.
Do you really think, though, Chase, though, I mean, I want your opinion because you're always like so politically correct, like you're going to go run for president. I want to know, I'd like to know your honest opinion. Do you think there should be, on the highest level pulling, I won't use no names, do you think there should be one-day hooks?
Absolutely not. No, there's a place for one-day hooks, but it's not the highest level of pulling. There's a separation.
How about you, Tyler? I know Adam's feeling because we talk about it all the time. Tyler, what's your feeling on it? Honestly, on the highest level of pulling, we're not using no names. Do you think there should be one-day hooks for us?
2-day hooks would be preferred, but I'm not willing to give up 1-day hooks to have only 2-day hooks.
Yeah, Tyler for president. Yeah.
That is why your chassis is in the rule book.
That is exactly why.
Wait, what does that mean?
God.
What?
Just fucking with
Look, we're not here to beat. We're not here to pit anyone against each other. We're here to grow the sport, and everyone agrees.
I agree.
We need multi-day hooks, but we also need promoters to do them.
Yeah, so that's my genuine response, though. Like, I want nothing but 2-day hooks. At the highest level, ideally, you'd have nothing but 2-day hooks. That being said, if I had to choose between all 1-day hooks disappearing and that's the only option, I would keep them.
No, that's not what I mean. I'm just saying, like, so for instance, say minis next year on the Ohio side of the fence is going to be, is going to be 18 hooks. Would you rather them all be 2 days or 1 day? Where my deal is just you want them all to be 2 days because driving all the way to Ohio for one hook, I don't care. I mean, yeah, I get it. You live in Ohio, but then in that aspect, I feel like on my side, it's like, why am I as a promoter putting on a 2-day hook when I know I can make more money putting on a Saturday night, just one Saturday night show? The only reason I put on a 2-day event is for you pullers.
And we respect that, like to say like 2-day hooks are clearly better than 1-day hooks. Like that's almost as silly as asking, would you rather pull to win $10,000 or $1,000? Like nobody out there is promoting 1-day hooks. You know what I mean? Like that's not even
It's like asking, do you want 1 beer or 10? Which one do you want?
Of course, 10. Give me 10 beers, baby. But like you get what I'm saying. Like that's there for a reason. It's supposed to be a builder for an entry level event to blossom into something more. And we've all seen these people that try to start out at a 2-day hook, and it's really hard to get started at a 2-day hook. I mean, you guys are doing a great job with it, but we've seen many entry level events start out, go balls to the wall, full day or full schedule 2-day event, and it's hard to justify that. Where if you start out with a 1-day event, soft entry, maybe you build a little buzz around it, and then
I think they didn't have the fireworks, they would have survived.
You think so?
Well, the good news is, Tyler, you get to come to Farley next year and drive a 2-wheel drive on a multi-day hook. We have a lot of questions for fans that want to hear from Brandon and RJ.
Let's hit them up.
We were going to do this 50 minutes ago, but we got talking about shitters and people shitting in front of Adam's camper.
Yeah,
and
OJ's bad about that. He never brings them up on the screen to show us. God dang it, OJ.
Hey, the first question that comes to mind, Brandon and RJ. There you go. Brandon and RJ, how do you guys keep things straight when you have multiple classes of vehicles at one pull?
Well, we kind of team up, good team. Jordan, Brad, Jerry, Norm, my Uncle Marty, cousin Ethan. We got our wives and kids that all kind of chip in and make it all happen. But when it comes down to a session where 2 different classes are running, we kind of split up. You go do your one thing and we'll do ours, and we'll come back at the end and compare notes on who did better, I guess.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're all trying to do good. I mean, you got Brad's great with the pro stocks and stuff like that. He helps with that. Jordan's good with me. But then they can both jump over and help either way. We have a lot of fun with it, but yeah, that's the biggest thing. Just good team. I mean, if we didn't have the team we have, we would never be able to do it. If we didn't have everybody, it takes an army to get it done.
I mean, we can't get enough. we can't give enough thanks to what our dad did and how he taught us about pulling. And then Steve Olson. I mean, if you don't know Steve Olson, you've never been around pulling back in its prime. I mean, between him and Dad teaching us, and I mean, we had a lot of good mentors in our life, and that's what made us successful to become what we are today. And when me and RJ team up together, is usually a pretty deadly task force.
A force to be reckoned with, no doubt.
One thing we're kind of
The
known
most
for
competitive guys in pulling.
One thing we're kind of known for is
you always see you guys each other at the starting line. If one guy's running the other class, you're always jumping over trying to help. And I mean, you're watching everything, keeping an eye on everything. I mean, that's what it takes. You guys know, RJ, I know you're not afraid to go over there and grab the mag and change it and make drastic changes. Because I think when you show up, clearly you're like everybody. Yeah, you may have 3-4 vehicles and you want all of them as a unit to do good, but you're always looking for the win with every one of them. And will be willing.
They're like everybody except you, Adam.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. I'm not afraid to lay it all out there. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I walked up to Adam this year at Toma. I told him, turn that fucking mag. And he goes to me, well, I already got it tuned up. I said, all right, I'm going to get my timing light. Riley Smith can attest to this. If Adam's not going to tell the truth, I went and got my timing light. Adam changed his timing, timed it, and got it all set. And then he got back to his trailer later that next day and it's like, your goddamn timing light's 2 degrees more than mine, you asshole. Like, that fucker was way hotter than I've ever ran it. Like,
it.
It was up there.
But at the end of the day, it's
Full transparent. Hang on. I'm going to interrupt again.
Oh, yeah, you fucker always interrupt. Put a fucking tally there.
No, I like to give Adam a hard time.
Now all we want.
Chase, there's two.
I like to give Adam a hard time. Give Adam a hard time. Tyler and I and everyone in the class runs our shit way harder than Adam runs it. So anytime someone says Adam needs to run his shit harder, I'm going to chime in on it. So because Adam is a badass driver, he's a good puller, but he does not like to run his shit hard.
Adam's a very good puller. He's very smart. But yeah, he's conservative. But on the other side of it is, he feels like he's broke all the time. But god damn it, I mean, fucking mom will write a check. Fuck it,
I know it.
But I will say one
nobody's
thing.
safe.
If the money was available, as you guys speak of, which I'm questioning all this, if the money was available, who the fuck has to work on this shit? Right here.
Toby. That fucking Toby.
Fuck. Dude, we're a very low-key operation here. Very low-key.
Riley's on the payroll. Riley wrenches on it.
Fuck. Riley wrenches on nothing but his ass in our couch. No, you know what? Riley's a great help. He actually showed up to a lot of pulls this year. I love the boy, really do. Want to kill him at times, but I mean,
well, I'm about ready to get him away from you. God damn it! If I would have kept that mini rod line, longer, I would have had it.
Yeah, I know it. Riley's a good shit.
All right, we got this under 2.5 hours. Next question. Of all classes you have run, which vehicle is the hardest to drive and hook? RJ and Brandon, both of you answer that. The hardest vehicle to drive and hook.
God, that's hard. I don't know.
And you can't say me, Rock, because neither one of you ever drove one.
The hardest one to hook and win is a damn turbine.
Damn turbine.
Man, that sucker was.
That's a good answer. Good answer.
Why is that, Brandon?
I don't know. You rev it up to 15,000, and all of a sudden you hit the line lock, and it's like, I don't know. It was like a mini rod on steroids when you hit that line lock on the throttle, and that sucker spun the tires at 15,000 RPMs, and the way we went, and parts were flying at Toma and shit. It was wild.
Maybe we should have a separate podcast about turbine pulling.
Do you miss the turbine, Brandon?
He misses it.
I kind of miss that sucker.
He does.
The fire was cool.
Fire was cool.
It was a crowd-pleasing son bitch.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
They are.
That was the reason they took them flags going across the track. I mean, that thing would destroy them.
RJ, what's your answer your question? The hardest vehicle to drive.
The hardest vehicle to drive, as I thought, was the 4-wheel drive at Rockwell because it was terrible. But see, nobody, DJ's great friends with me. He's been helping me with the 4-wheel drive. Larry Peterson's been a long time friends with me. But that jackass and DJ, none of them would explain to me like, hey, guess what? This ain't a pro stock. You don't have to keep the turbo spooled up. So you don't, once you get it up to RPM, just slip the clutch and leave the throttle alone. So I'm trying to keep my throttle going like I do with a pro stock, like I drove about 4 times. That didn't work. So, but after I got it launched out of the hole, Travis Slaubaugh looked over at Larry. He'll tell you this and said, "See, Larry, I told you could fucking slap it and bend it over wide open. It'd work on a 4-wheel drive." And then I kicked the drive shaft out about 100 feet, but it wasn't Profab parts. It was some junkyard shit we had. But now we got Profab shit in there. He promised me that it'll never break again. So
you're ready to slap it and bend it over.
Oh, this year when I got that new Profab engine, I'm telling you, I'm really excited about them sponsoring me and giving me that engine for free. That was awesome. That Larry and Lisa did that. It was cool about them to just give me that, give me all the driveline parts. So they're texting me in the background, just so you guys know. So they're probably like, "You little fucker." So
all right, boys. Well, we're almost at 2.5 hours. Do we got to wrap this thing or what?
That's up to you guys.
Well,
I got plenty of beer. I'm not out of beer yet. Are you guys out of beer?
Somebody wants to know. Okay, this is a good BG campground party advocate. What is your best Bowling Green and campground story that you can remember?
Oh,
Brandon, you go first.
Oh,
I don't know. I guess pretty rowdy back there.
Oh, just tell us a story.
Are the kids sleeping?
Any story.
Let's not get greedy, guys. We're at 300 plus viewers, and we're at 2.5 hours, and we were begging for 300 viewers weeks ago. So maybe we should.
Oh, there's a story.
You that one?
The dentures.
Oh,
okay.
Dentures.
Well,
so
we're out.
All good stories start with dentures.
So it was probably 3 years ago or so, 2 years. I don't remember now, but Dad was still around. Yeah, it was. So it was probably 4 or 5 years ago. It was before 2020. So year before 2020, we were out there and we just won the afternoon session with a 2-wheel drive and the light unlimited. Brandon won light unlimited. I won the 2-wheel drive on the other side. So it was pretty cool. Like we were both on cloud 9. Well, then the evening session had rained out and it was just a swamp out there. I mean, it was foot deep water. It poured. And we went out there and the 84 Pennsylvania team, they're like, "Hey, I got this big black dildo, kind of pretty similar to what Adam Kessler carries around, and or I guess it's Rodney." But so we ended up taking that out on the gator to the campground, stuck it on the hood, and we had some beads around it. And we were told any woman that, "Hey, if you can take this, we'll give you a set of beads." So this one gal, she comes. There's multiple, but the one, she decides she's gonna wrap her mouth right around it. We're like, "Oh, okay." Well, come to find out, she had some false teeth, and they fell out on the hood. So we didn't get a video of that, but Norm's got a few other videos. If you ever around Norm, you want to see some footage of fun times in the campground. He's our videographer, and but yeah. So needless to say, she lost her teeth on the hood of the gator in the campground, and yeah, it was very.
Do you still have the dentures there at the shop, on the wall?
We gave them back to her, but we didn't keep the dentures for shit's sake. Like
I see all the championship trophies and signs in the shop. I didn't know if she had her own wall in the corner.
Later on she was spotted later on with one of the members of the UD crew at the time. We don't know their name. She was that gal was spotted later on, I guess. But so.
And on that, we'll end on a high note.
What else we got? We got any more questions for Chase here? What do we got for Chase?
I mean, we're at 2 hours and 29 minutes and 40 seconds.
I got all night. I took tomorrow off just so I could have a good night for you.
Well, we're not going to kick you off. We've got our after hours program to look forward to.
The after hours
program. The funniest part about the funniest part about this podcast is that when we started planning it, Adam and Tyler were like dead on. Like, we got to keep it under 50 minutes, under 45 to 50 minutes. And look at us, we're almost 2 hours over right now.
Did not.
Wait, under 50 minutes. I'm like, okay, good luck.
Adam probably got to get home. The fucker's got to help out with his little guy and fucking Jamie's birthday this week. He should be helping her. God dang it.
45 to 50 minutes. 45 to 50 minutes. Nobody will tune in after that. But no, real talk. It's been awesome. My phone's blown up. Our messages are blown up. This is the best podcast we've had. No knock on our other guests, but we're strategically waiting to bring you two on because you guys are badasses and you run MBRs. And really appreciate you.
You guys understand how badass some engines are? I mean, he's pretty humble. Yeah. He's pretty humble, but really he makes a pretty good engine for his. I mean, as hillbilly as he is, you know. You ever been to like down there by his area? I mean, fuck, there's Amish everywhere. I mean, there's just a bunch of redneck fuckers everywhere. I mean, you had to meet some of his friends like Rodney and Tyler. They're hillbillies as you'll ever meet.
A real testament.
Yeah. Well,
where's Ricky at when you need him?
Hey, I do.
Brandon, RJ.
What I will tell this story because I do use it as leverage. When somebody calls me and they ask me, hey,
we ripped the trunk off a Grand Am one night.
Ripped the whole fucking trunk lid off a Grand Am.
I said, guys, do you think Simons could have 11 fucking pull-in vehicles if they had to work on my shit all the time? I don't think so. They could wrench on the diesel shit maybe here or there. They don't work on the other stuff. They have a lot of vehicles. They don't work on them much. That's all I need to tell them right there.
Hey, if you bring them fucking mini rods up to Farley, Iowa, you just do the tires. I'll make sure them fuckers win, but you better be ready to wrench on them every weekend. You better put your beard down. It's going to go. Them fuckers, we're going to be hanging some shit out of the end right at the end of the run. We're going to look like, yeah.
I doubt it.
All right, boys.
All right, fans, thank you all. We love you. Yes. Best show ever. RJ, Brandon, you guys made the show happen. Don't forget to vote on who you want the next guest to be on our Facebook post. RJ, Brandon, as a final sign-off, we're doing a campaign. You vote for the next guest.
Fuck you, Chase.
I know. Unlimited puller. Who are you picking, RJ? Unlimited puller.
Unlimited puller. I'm probably going to go with Adam Bauer.
He's already been on. He don't count. Brandon, who you got?
Fuck. Well, you didn't fucking tell me that. God damn it. How am I supposed to know?
RJ, we mentioned
Brandon, you pick. Brandon, you pick, and then we'll go back to RJ. One unlimited puller minus Adam Bauer. Who you voting for?
Billy Beers.
Billy Beers?
Yeah, he's another minor
Very
customer.
good.
I'm figuring you're probably sticking with that realm.
Yeah. Adam said nothing but
I like it.
customers.
I would probably pick I better not say it. Shit.
Just say
Take
it,
Chuck
fucker.
Knapp. We need some more Iowas on here.
Yeah, Chuck Knapp. Yeah, there you go. That's
Chuck Knapp. There you go. There you go. So the votes are in for Chuck Knapp and Billy Beers. But fans, vote on it. Tell your friends, tell your people. This is going awesome. We love it. We're here to grow the sport pulling. RJ, Brandon, we always do a sign off with a cheers. We're only going 45 minutes over schedule.
I would have probably picked Uncle Dave, but he's probably working so that way Chase can fuck off like this.
Yeah, Chase, make sure you tell our fans to subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Spotify, whatever streaming platform you want to. Come visit us at our store and get some T-shirts and stuff. We're starting to sell some of those. Answer our poll question with what unlimited puller we need to answer the poll question. Anybody you want, we'll try to get a hold of those people, see if we can get them on here. I mean, guys, it's been great. You guys are awesome to talk to. It was a great show, I do believe, and I just want to say thank you.
Yeah, I'd just like to
let's
thank
do a
everybody
final
that
cheers.
helped us.
Yeah, what
Chase
great
shit
picture
off
there.
What the hell is that? Can't see
Sign
it.
us off, OJ.
That's a wrap.
Bye-bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Practice Podcast.
Have a good one. Bye.
Stay tuned for the next episode, where we guarantee there still won't be any practice.
Bye-bye.